books can't escape from the team. Call the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover. That's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice or might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, a pleasant good morning to you coming from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show for Saturday, March 15th. We've got a huge day of college basketball tournament action, including conference finals and semifinals from around the country. We'll preview many of the big games today and get you ready for our live companion coverage today of UFC Fight Night here from Las Vegas. Waiting for someone to come and pick me up and take me over to the Apex for tonight's card. Tonight with Vittori versus Dolidze 2. We have a battle here of middleweights tonight. Top 12 contenders here in Las Vegas, starting at 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 Pacific time. Great coverage from the guys here. They'll keep them with you today when we watch the card here. I'll be in the chat so you can hang out with me as well, as we have a great fight card scheduled for today, and we have previews up, ready, and available here on the Sports Money Network channel. If you're getting ready for the card tonight, you could check out First Strike from the guys, Jeff, Mike, Jim, Sub. They've got all their best plays, and best of all, no cancellations just yet. So we'll have all the fights hopefully tonight. And also, please check out my show with VB MMA Picks as we went over a series of fights as well, including the main event, Vittori versus Dolidze, and 2 other fights. So you could have 7 fights previewed, but it gets even better than that. You can check out also our latest feature on the Sports Money Network. If you go to the posts tab, you can get the UFC playbook, and what we have there are all the guys' plays. You don't have to wait for them to get on the air. Yeah, they'll have some more plays coming, but if you go to the posts tab here on YouTube, you can get the info for tonight's fight card for with the Sports Money members playbook. They've got all their top plays on there, keynotes on the matchups, sides, totals, props, the lines you want to look for, and which of our handicappers were on which bouts. So it's a great way to start your handicapping or to add what you already know for today's fights. Check it out under the post tab. It's really informative, pretty concise. It's in a Google sheet, and great way to kind of preview some of the fights, get some of our guys' picks for tonight's fight card. And that's just for you guys here on the Sports Money Network. Also, just want to mention one other video that's on the videos tab here tonight. We do have one more match here, or 2 more matches this week, but I want to mention that Dan and his analyst have the big match previewed for tonight. There is a great rugby match, and you want to check it out, between the Parramatta Eels and the West Tigers at 1:05 a.m. Eastern, 10:05 Pacific, and the guys have a preview of that match here. There's another match after, but I think that's the one they focused on, the Eels and the Tigers. So if you want a couple bets for some middle of the night action on the East Coast, check it out here on the Sports Money Network. All right. Appreciate you listening to that. Now let's say hello to some folks in the chat and recap the action from last night and get ready. We've got a long show. I don't know if we have time for any reviews because we've got previews of a lot of basketball games here and we couldn't even get to all of them, but we'll also preview NHL and NBA basketball for tonight. There's also a full card of international soccer action right now underway. I'm watching currently the matchup from Spain here just right now, and also we're getting ready here in just a couple of hours for EPL action today and other action as well. There's a huge Major League Soccer card domestically. We've also got action this morning starting here top of the hour in Italy as well, and action from like I said, I'm watching games from Spain. Golf is underway here as well as we get ready for the third round of the Players' Championship, and Bahisha up there with Minwoo Lee looking good. Rory's in there. Hey, my pick for the tournament here with Rory McIlroy, just 2 strokes back. Gotta think he's still pretty live. I had him on my plays this week at 13-1. He was my chalk, but he's up there right now within striking distance. And hope he caught me with yesterday or a couple nights ago on Kick. I said I was going to add Emiliano Grillo. He is 5 strokes back, but I took him at 200-1. Got a fighting chance in there. So also today, great action as well from tennis with I think I may have jumped the gun a little bit on the finals, but we do know on the ladies side it will be Arina Sabalenka and Mira Andreeva. Well, mentioned yesterday at least. We didn't really make any picks, but Andreeva against Iga, watch out, I said, with Andreeva, and she got the upset there. She'll take on Sabalenka in the final tomorrow. The men's action is today with Rune and Medvedev, Alcaraz, and Draper. Hello to everyone in the chat, and let's greet the folks coming in. Nunya is here to start it off today. Thank you, Nunya. Hello. He's ready to go with a parlay, and he's going to bless us with his action here. Bobby Mack early here, ready to go. Thomas Lewis says, good morning. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, the fastest growing sports betting channel on YouTube. James Parham here today. Our Tom's ready to go, and already Robert says he's already cashed with qualifying this week for F1. Joe W's here. Jermaine is here as well. I was watching some truck action last night. I did send out the winner. It was more of a hedge against maybe the rest of the field. I don't know if the rest of my drivers didn't quite live up to expectations to get us maybe some profits with some of those top 3s or top 5s there, or matchups in my race call yesterday for the truck series, but we'll look maybe to have some action tonight in Xfinity and the big race tomorrow here in Vegas. I'm kind of trying to stay involved with this whole card, with it being here in town this weekend. I think I'll be able to keep up on it. Enjoyed watching the races last night, dodging the raindrops here in Las Vegas. And also Twisted is here this morning. Thank you. Fans, you can get my best plays for today, but I'm going to hopefully give you a bunch of free plays here in a short while. But I've also got some pays behind a paywall over at winnable.com. I'm going to have action today from college basketball. We'll lead up to, we'll give you the plays early here for some of those games that are about to tip off here in just a couple of hours. Less than 2 hours, actually, with the early action, and we'll also have plays in NBA, NHL, and well, I think I will try to get to a Major League Soccer card. I don't think I'll have anything internationally this morning with our great conference tournament action today, but definitely going to be here watching all the games and handicap what I can to try to get some great bets off today. So I'll let you know what I'm going with if you follow me over on Winnable. Just 50 cents a day gets you my plays for an entire month. You can get all my plays for one day for $4, $8 for a week. I always tack on, if you get a week or more, I always tack on a couple more days up there for sure. It's not about the money necessarily, just want to get as many people following me. I'm trying to go viral like all these guys I'm listening to on their spaces last night, all these sports betting influencers and their power rankings and their controversy and all their how come I can't get anybody to want to challenge me in a treadmill challenge. I've got a treadmill set up. That's how all I do is have my office here. I've got a kitchen and a bedroom and a treadmill. That's pretty much what I got, trying to stay afloat. And why can't I get involved with those guys and make a little money? I'll go crazy on that treadmill. Anyways, please join me over at winnable.com/Ramon, and I'll have plays for you all day. I was listening to those crazy guys last night, all those sports betting influencers in that spaces. Did anybody listen? Does anybody even listen to that, or is it just me? Maybe I was bored last night watching those games, but had all those guys from X talking about they're the best. All right, say hello to a few more folks here. We've also got Nasty Nate is here. He's in the Celtics. I guess won every quarter, but the second Celtics in action again tonight. All right, a few games from last. I got to cover a few games from last night because got to set up some of the action for today for sure, right? With what happened, what went down last night. And I've got to keep an eye out on some of these other conferences. You know, I need some number one seeds to win to get my San Diego State Aztecs to be in the tournament for sure. It looks like they still could be in, but could use some help with some of these top seeds winning and keeping some of those bid stealers out today. But was some incredible action last night. Alabama over Kentucky 99-70, and I knew Alabama could go for 100 again. They scored 54 points in the second half, and they had their whole bench was getting involved and doing the job last night. Alabama advances to the semifinals where they'll take on the Florida Gators. Auburn with their win over Ole Miss 62-57. That's un-Auburn like, but the game was tied. They went on a run, and Auburn got the win there yesterday. And Auburn will play Tennessee today in the semifinals of the SEC. Also, Big 12 action. How about Arizona? Caleb Love, 27 points. He's been a darling of ours here for a couple of years now, and lighting it up for Arizona as they beat Texas Tech. Arizona takes on Houston in a great Big 12 matchup final today. Duke over Carolina. Could you believe that? Everyone's talking about it today. I don't know if it's a big deal. Look, the Heels are trying to spin it as if the lane violation was not a factor. Man, when you come back all that way and can almost taste the upset of your big rival, and then something, a simple mistake happens. I think the only thing about the controversy there was, you know what? Sometimes we see lane violations, and the referee, if it's like a 20-point game or something, or it's the end of the game, and they just blow it off, and let it slide. And here, in the key moment, you're gonna play the ref card. It was, hey, it's a violation, is a violation, a clear violation. So nothing nothing you could do. You're not gonna challenge it, nothing like that. Everybody saw it. Just a disappointment there for Carolina. But hey, we were able to throw out a few picks, and that was your guys' pick there yesterday in the ACC. You guys had the consensus winner there. I went with the under in the game, said, hey, you know what? I trust Team Steam consensus with Carolina last night. It didn't feel comfortable, but they came all the way back pretty much in that game against Duke. And Duke and Louisville will meet in the final. It was Louisville 76-73. Hey, you can win by 20, or you can win by 2, or or 3 like Louisville is right now, and they snapped Clemson's winning streak to get to the final. We got Duke and Louisville in the ACC tonight. Also, St. John's looking dominant over Marquette. Anybody want to take St. John's to win this national title? I've got a futures in there, and boy, St. John's looked impressive. We had them here on the Morning Steam show, of course, to blow out Marquette. Elijah for 33 points, very strong. I mean, NFL, NBA caliber player in there, the 6'9" man, looking good. And St. John's is in the Big East final for the first time in 25 years. Some of you weren't even around back in the days, or even back in the days when it was St. John's and Georgetown in those great finals. Anyways, Creighton with that upset of Connecticut. Hey, you know what? That player that dunked that ball at the end of the game, he dunked it for all of America and pissed off the UConn Huskies. So good on Creighton to make it to the final. Sorry for any Connecticut fans out there. They've had the great run, and hey, you know what? They'll probably be back. But, to see them get all bent out of shape and to see Coach McBucket's kind of manhandle Hurley there a little bit. Hurley isn't going to be able to get one over on Coach McBuckets there yesterday, and that little incident there at the end of the game. But I thought he dunked on Connecticut for all of America. St. John's and Creighton will meet today. Big 12, Wisconsin with that blowout of UCLA. Yeah, we called it here on the show yesterday with I had Wisconsin in that game, actually, but definitely a great performance by Wisconsin over UCLA. What did I say? I said we had Wisconsin on the Morning Steam show. That's what I meant. We did not have UCLA. That's for sure. We had Wisconsin here, 86-70 blowout of UCLA semifinals. Whiskey and MSU, Michigan and Maryland. There after that big win for Michigan. Wow, they beat Purdue. We had the over in that game as our pick. We also had the under in the Michigan State game. So our premium pick was Purdue and Michigan game over, and we had Michigan State, Oregon under here on the show. Okay, also here in Vegas, Boise, late night over New Mexico. If you missed it, they'll take on Colorado State. Colorado State was able to get the win late last night here in Las Vegas in the Mountain West to advance to the final today. We had a premium pick, Boise and New Mexico game to go under, but it was Boise State knocking off the number 1 seed New Mexico to advance to the finals, and also Colorado State with that win late night. It was a midnight start here out in the East Coast, 9 o'clock here, even a little bit later there as Colorado State rolled Utah State. Utah State came back a little bit, but it was Colorado State all the way. We got some other finals as well and some other picks from yesterday. We did score Big West Conference, Cal Poly and UCI to go over. We know that UCSD, my Tritons advance. They will move on to take on Irvine here on Saturday. Also, American Conference, Memphis over Wichita. They'll take on Tulane in the American semis. North Texas and UAB. We're not going to get to those today. We'll cover the finals tomorrow. MAAC final we'll cover, though, with Akron and Miami, as Miami beat Kent State. There, Kent State led with 5 minutes to go. Miami pulled away. They won 19 of their last 23. MAAC final today, Akron and Miami in the Atlantic 10. St. Joe's over Dayton in overtime. How about that one there yesterday? First of all, take a one victory lap anyway for a double play winner, parlay winner, if you will. That first game, yeah, we had BCU to blow out St. Bonaventure in and over. We gave you a parlay winner, hopefully, to start the day yesterday. We also had a premium pick winner, St. Louis and Loyola of Chicago game to go under. Semifinals, we're not going to get to them, but it is St. Louis and BCU. St. Joe's and George Mason. We'll get to those tomorrow. If you want to chime in the chat and give me your picks, I'll flash them on the screen. Certainly, Conference USA, Jacksonville State and Middle, one of the best games of the day, 70-68. Pretty tough for Middle Tennessee. They played 2 overtimes on Thursday, and then they had to come back and play an early game. Pretty much got a fixture tournament there, Conference USA. At least they don't play the 2 games at once in the building anymore. Anybody remember when they played the Conference USA tournament in the big stadium and they put a curtain up and played the 2 games at the same time with 2 different whistles so you didn't get confused? Awkward. They don't do that anymore, but that was only a few years ago that they did that. Also, a WAC tournament late here in Vegas, and it was Grand Canyon over Cal Baptist in the late night action to advance. They'll take on Utah Valley in a sneaky good matchup there. Also, a MAAC Metro Atlantic play. Iona will take on Mount St. Mary's as Iona will go to the final. They beat Quinnipiac. All right, I hope I covered anyways a lot of games. We had the under as a premium pick winner in that game, Mount St. Mary's and Merrimack there. So we covered a lot of the winners yesterday. And some steam is coming in right now. What do you know? Let's pass along some college basketball steam here and get some moves out and let you start working on your card today. Right now, coming up, early action in the Ivy League. We're getting some steam here with that early start. Princeton and Yale. Yep, the game that's going to go off here in about an hour and a half. We're seeing some steam to the under right now here with Princeton and Yale. I definitely think that you can see some tendencies for both these teams, especially Yale, to the under. It was 146, but we're down to 145 here right now with Princeton and Yale, our first steam of the morning here. There have been some moves overnight. I'll keep you posted when we go over those games, but the freshest moves right now, including Boise State and Colorado State. Let's talk about it in that Mountain West final here. We're getting some steam right now on the under in this pardon me, on the under in this one. Look, it's already moved up very, very high from an opening line of 136.5 now all the way up here to went up to 141, but then was just hit back the other way, and the steam is coming in on the under. But just should be noted that this one's kind of run the gamut already a little bit because it was, like I said, as low as 136.5 in the Mountain West final when it opened, and it did go all the way up to now that 136. I guess I'd rather say maybe 138 was the low opener. Right now, it's going to be about, when the dust settles, it's going to be about 139-ish right now. I'll get back to you when we get back to that game, but we are seeing a lot of fluctuation in that one. Seconds ago, right now, Big East Conference Final, Creighton and St. John's, steam to the under. I got to give it out right now. This is my play, Creighton and St. John's to the under right now here on the morning steam. So let me start with my first play. We'll give a little preview later, but since it is moving right now to the under, allow me to give it out here. It's already at 139.5 now at some books here, as it's dropped 1.5 in the Big East Championship game between Creighton and St. John's. Steam here this morning. Also, just moments ago, as I was coming on the air, we had, let me see here. I thought we had one more here. No, I think that's going to do it for right now on the college basketball. Let me say hello to some more folks and get started with our college basketball previews here today. All right. We've got, let's see here. Robert was heartbroken there a little bit, or he was a little bit critical. I don't know, though. Great comeback. Didn't think that, look, we were on the heels, right? I'm sure we scored. I'm sure Robert even scored. If he, I don't know, let me know. But, we were on the heels, certainly taking advantage of the absence of flag. But the rest, they didn't miss a beat. Should have. even I, being skeptical, was saying, should have known better than to fade this Duke team as I sat there with my North Carolina ticket, kind of bitter, like, hey, I should have known better. This team got a lot of great talent. My analysis was they would be a little bit dysfunctional without Cooper Flag in the lineup. That wasn't the case in the first half, but it certainly was noticeable in the second half. So I think I got it right. We got it right in the chat there anyway. Gravy's here today. Hello, wine time. Good morning. Action Jackson here, there. And Thomas is thinking, I think of George, of the Georgetown St. John's games in the day with John Thompson and Lou Carnesecca wearing the matching sweaters. Trap God, honor to have you here today. And Old E, good morning. Always great to have Justin here. Sports money is money. And Gravy's ready to go with his play, so I hope he has time to stick around, or go ahead and stick him in the chat there. And Gravy, if you can't stick around for the previews, I'd love to know what you're on today. B-Hawk does it, and he says, I like under in the Michigan State game with Wisconsin today in the Big Ten. And Robert did have it, but he wanted his heels there to win over Duke in the matchup between two shades of blue. And Curtis is here. Curtis, thank you every day for your support here of my show. A day oneer, it feels like for me, going back to, hey, the Morning Steam. We've been on here on the Sports Money Network for about, I guess now 7 or 8 months, but Curtis knows we've been around a couple of years doing this show, or at least I have been now. Yeah, I got some more steam that just came in a little while ago, and I think it's on a couple of moves here that I have today, so I'll just pass them along here. The Ottawa Senators just got taken steam in their action against Toronto today. I want to go with Ottawa today as an underdog against Toronto, and I'll take the Senators here. They're getting steam, so their price is going down. Maybe it's best that it is a complimentary play here on the show. I'll take the Ottawa Senators. Also, just moments ago, the Nashville Predators took some steam against the LA Kings. Like I said, the Sharps love betting this team. That's why Mikey Money, he's a Sharp. He keeps betting this team, and they're going nowhere. But we've been teasing him a little bit. But still, the action's there on Nashville. Maybe giving a little discount here for the Kings today. Of course, Kings terrific at home. Also, the San Jose Sharks took some steam. I like the Sharks actually today, at least on the puck line against the Washington Capitals. I was going to take them here in this awkward spot, a 2 p.m. Pacific time start today with the Caps on the road. Yeah, the Sharks are bad, but they did take some steam from the Wise guys, and well, I think it's probably pretty legit. I'd probably take the Sharks here as my play when we get there, plus a goal and a half. All right. Oh, here's the other one that I missed in college basketball. Steam to the under in that game between UC Irvine and UC San Diego, Big West final. It's a big one for me to watch UC San Diego try to make the tournament for the first time. They've been awesome. They've been absolutely terrific. I think everyone knows that this team is the best spread team in the country. They've been crushing the opposition all year. They've got an incredible coach who's basically seen this thing all the way through, been there for a dozen years. He's got a big chance to put UCSD in the finals. That's the UC school in San Diego. That's where the smart kids hang out. All right, but the steam came in on the under there. It was 135 and a half, and we're down now to 134 and a half. I don't see it going that far, but it is steaming here for a point or so. All right, who else is here? That's it. All right, I think we're ready to start here. Maybe I'll take one more peek at the steam here, and let's get going with the show because we got to go. Jake Dye here today, and hopefully I'll pick the best games out. Of course, I'm looking at major conference action and championship game. We will try to get you out a pick on those early games, including the Ivy League early start game. And I've got a big pick for you guys in the America East championship game, which also starts here at 11 Eastern and 8 Pacific, but I'm going to save it there. I'm ready to go, though, in that one. If I see it move, I will. It's already kind of moved, but it hasn't been really steamed or anything. But still, I have my pick ready for the America East final, and I want to get your pick as well. Okay, here we go. B-Hawk is ready to go in that Big Ten. And you know what? I am too. You know where we're going first, B-Hawk. It's like you read the script. He says Michigan State and Wisconsin very good at defense. Three-pointer means under. And there's another straight bet here, or a team total there. Thank you to Jermaine. Oh, let me get my Steam machine over here, get going. Uh-oh. Just in case there are any breaking news, I want to be able to get everything fired up here. All right, here we go. Like I said, you saw it there from B-Hawk. Damon's here. Good morning. Cash Kane here as well. But B-Hawk talked about it. Let's start it. That was my first game. He was reading the script. Let's go to the Big Ten and talk about this one between Wisconsin and Michigan State. Look, we've skipped the Ivies. We'll get one play out to you. We've skipped the A10. If you want my plays on some of those games, I'm not going to say which ones are in my package, but I do have a little bit over there at Winnable. Not yet. We'll get those plays out here right after the show, but let's go to this one, shall we? In the Big Ten with Wisconsin and Michigan State, Big Ten semifinal here with Sparty looking every bit the part of a Final Four team, it feels like here at this point, the way things are going and rolling over the competition. But you've got to take on Whiskey here, and you've got Michigan State favored in this one by up to 3.5 now. Wow. Let's call it 3. There is some 2.5s, 3 and 145.5. So we definitely seen a little bit of move overnight here on Michigan State. I don't know if you guys saw it as 2.5, but I was putting these numbers in as they were popping up last night, and I was watching the action of those late games. Here we go with the current line. There we go. All right. So Michigan State, they're the ones that come in on a win streak right now. They beat Oregon in their tournament game. Covered the spread again. Just to give everybody know, you could have been hanging out with me on hopefully some winners here this morning. I did send out a couple of plays in the Chinese Basketball Association. We just scored with the Tianjin Pioneers plus 10.5 over the Beijing Royal Fighters. You want to wake and win, go over to Winnable and get my free subscription. When I got time, I'll look at some CBA overnight. That's what I did today. So one winner comes in. All right, anyways, for Michigan State, man, they're just on a roll. They've covered, 22 times they've covered the spread this year. Wisconsin's good against the spread, too. 20, 12, and 1 against the spread, 6 and 3 against the spread as an underdog. But still, Michigan State right now 9 and 1 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. They're 17 and 8 against the spread as a favorite. Michigan State's going to be pretty popular with handicappers, it feels like, so far here today. I don't know if I mind it, but can Wisconsin hang in here? Obviously, the move looks to be on Michigan State right now. Michigan State's won 12 out of the last 15 meetings between these two teams. 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Go to the chat. Get your plays here in this one between Wisconsin and Michigan State today. Big Ten action here. And we'll go to the chat in this one and take a look. Oops, let me get my... There we go. Let me go to the chat. Give me your plays in this one. Thank you for being here, everybody. Big day ahead. Twisted's on Michigan. James Parm's on Wisconsin. Here's Damon on Wisconsin. Action Jackson makes it 3-1 Wisconsin. Cash Kane likes this one maybe to go overtime here today. Michigan State and under there makes it 3-2. And Thomas says, what sports books carry Chinese basketball? That's a good question. I pretty much get my plays off over there on offshore. So I got to look into that for my man Thomas. If we're going to do some winning like this. All right, Gravy here is ready to go in the morning. And there's an underplay from our Tom's Big O. Good morning. And Robert likes Michigan State here in this one.
Final.
All right, and I'm going to make a play here right now. And let me see. Oh, here. Oh, Two Zigs here. Thank you for checking in, Two Zigs. He says DraftKings has those CBA games. I know I watch them on YouTube. There's a lady in India broadcasting from her, I don't know, her bedroom, it looks like, and kind of, I don't think she's supposed to be doing it, but I'm sure thankful of her.
Steam play.
And Twisted had some winners in China. And Gravy says Wisconsin money line in his round robins. It's round robin threes. I think that's what that says. All right. Well, probably going to get ready to make my call here in this one between Michigan State and Wisconsin, and I've got to go over here in this one. I'm going over with Wisconsin and Michigan State. You know, we've seen a totally different Wisconsin team this year. Now, Michigan State's the under team. In fact, they're a big-time under team. They're 10-22 to the under this season, 9-16 to the under as a favorite, but Wisconsin 7-2 to the over as an underdog. So I'm going to end up here taking the over. The only other meeting this season was only 133 points as Michigan State won at home 71-62. But let's see what happens here in Indianapolis tonight. I'm going to go here with the over in this one between Wisconsin and Michigan State. Wine Time likes Michigan State there too. Okay. Thank you, Wine Time. Let's move on here now to the next matchup between Michigan and Maryland in this one. What a great job by Michigan. Wow. Could we see a Michigan State final? Maryland's favored in this one by 4, and the total 149.5. It's gone down here for sure. Actually, Maryland probably about a 4.5 point favorite now. Let's update it. 4.5, 149.5 in this one now. Okay, there we go with Maryland and Michigan here. Maryland's won 4 games in a row coming in. They've looked very good. Man, they destroyed yesterday Illinois. I didn't see that one coming in the Big Ten yesterday with that final. Maryland really took apart Illinois early, destroyed them from the outset, and was able to get a convincing victory. For the Wolverines here, they've kind of been the story too a little bit with their victory over Purdue. They knocked me out there. I thought Purdue, I took them as, I was pretty chalky in a lot of these tournaments, picking the winners of the tournament, but I went with Purdue, but they got manhandled. But we did have the premium pick winner on the over yesterday with Michigan and Purdue, and we'll see what you got today in this one. Maryland's the hot team coming in, as I said, with 4 straight wins and 3 straight covers, including the win over the Illini last night. For Maryland, they are 6-3-1 against the spread in their last 10 games overall. Michigan was stumbling into the postseason a little bit with 3 straight losses and a series of non-covers, but came up big against the Boilers. Michigan is 4-2 against the spread this season as an underdog, but we're just 3-7 now in their last 10 games against the spread overall. For Maryland here, they've only covered 4 out of their last 12 games against Michigan overall. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Now, the Big Ten semifinals here do have some tendencies in the past. We've seen this tournament when we get to this point, the scores do kind of go up here, but we'll see if that's necessarily going to be the case today. Michigan is 4-2 to the over as an underdog. both these teams did kind of trend over during the season, but over the last couple of weeks, they've kind of trended under a little bit. So we'll go to the chat, see what you have here in the Big Ten semifinal between Michigan State and Michigan. Big Ten tournament semifinals are 10-4 to the over, and in the last 3
Final.
years of the Big Ten tournament, all 6 semifinal games have gone over. Let's go to the chat here and see what you might have in this one. Michigan and Maryland and Indy. I'm going to start off here with, scroll back here. Thank you, everybody. Great action, great interaction in the chat.
Final.
And Gravy says he wants to capitalize on some teams maybe losing in these games, not making it to the final, getting a little bit of value there a little bit. Okay, Thomas likes Maryland. Jake Dye likes the under here in this one. And Twisted likes Maryland here. Nunez had a good week. He likes Michigan. And Robert likes the under here in this one with Michigan and Maryland today. All right, so I'll look to make my call now here. I'll give you guys a few more moments to make the call in the game between Michigan and Maryland here. And I know, I see Robert there on the under, but I'm probably going to adhere to kind of what we've seen in the tournament in the past. I understand here with these two teams kind of going under here a little bit of late. Michigan's game was over yesterday, but the Maryland game against Illinois did go under. So, all right, let me make the call here. Just checking one more look at I want to look one more time at the market action here. I don't think it's going to take me off of it. I'm going over in both Big Ten semifinal games today here. There's no doubt Michigan here, when they seem to take on these good teams here, sometimes they do go under long term with the Wolverines, but I'm going to take this one over. All right, Terrell here's got the over. Super True, good morning and hello. And Tuesday's ready to go. And he's giving me the final scores there. Thank you, Tuesdays. Appreciate it. I didn't know that we won them all. Did I win them all this morning on a 3-0 sweep in China basketball with the other picks too? Thank you, Tuesdays. You're awesome, man. Here, what else did we have? We had Shandong and Shenzhen. That one to go over. It just did go over right now with 1 minute left. You probably have the final or did see it go. And then we had Liaoning and Jiangsu to go under 194. Final score was 182. Thank you, two Zigs. 3-0. Put it in the pocket. Start the day good. Whoops. Where did I go? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Whoops. Did you guys see that? All right.
Final.
All right, Terrell. There you go. Hey, thanks, Terrell, on that one. Talked about it there yesterday a little bit in the ACC with that Clemson and Louisville game here, and yeah, for sure. With that, our pick, they're still stuck over there, unfortunately. And let's see here. Okay. I mean, that's it for the Big Ten. I'm on the over in both. Next up, let's go to the SEC semifinals here with Tennessee taking on Auburn. In the SEC here. Pardon, bear with me just a moment. All right, let's go now to this one with the Auburn Tigers favored here by 4. And the total in this one currently it's 5.5. 5.5 is currently the line for Auburn. This one continues to go up this morning. Hey, Tennessee did a great job yesterday. Come on, what's going on here? Tennessee looked terrific there in that game against Texas. They beat them up 83-72 yesterday to advance here. Tennessee is my pick to win this tournament. I'm on record here, although yesterday I thought that Texas would actually be able to cover, but it came down to the finish, and Tennessee earned it in the end. Texas was just trying to fight and to scramble and foul and stay in the game, but it didn't work out there as Tennessee got the money in that game. For Auburn here, they do come in off of that win over Ole Miss, but we did take Ole Miss there yesterday on the morning steam for the win. Auburn won by 5 points. They were laying 12.5 yesterday. Well, Tennessee's actually not covering very well of late. They failed to cover in 7 of their last 10 games. Now, this is only the 4th time this season that Tennessee has been an underdog. They're 2-1 against the spread as a dog. If I've got them to win this tournament like I do, I probably got to take them in this game. I'm not going to be Mr. Wishy-Washy and take Auburn. I guess I probably could. I want to be honest and upfront, but this is our show and I'm having fun too. I've got to take Tennessee here. I'm on them. I'm on Tennessee in the contest with the buddy over there, and got them to win this tournament. So if they're going to win this tournament, they got to win this game, but I'll take them to cover at least here, plus the points. Maybe I could read off a few trends, get you guys interested in the game. If you're not already, make the pick in the chat, and we'll see what you have here. Auburn has covered 8 of the last 11 meetings between these two teams. These two teams have gone over in 10 of the last 13 meetings coming into this one. Tennessee went 13-6 in conference play. Auburn went 16-3. Tennessee's won 9 of their last 11 games coming in, and they do have right now, Tennessee, they have I believe moved to the top. I know they were up there with like just St. John. Talk about for best defense in the country, basically best field goal defense in the country right now. Tennessee might have that honor. It might be St. John's right now. I'm trying to remember the numbers there, but Tennessee's on the move for sure, doing some great job right now. So, the Volunteers, they play a lot of, they've got a pretty deep bench, and they look pretty good. They really can crash the boards. They look intimidating really on the offensive boards. They're a top 20 team nationally. Auburn, they're still nearly a top 10 defense in the country right now. I think they're 12th overall on field goal defense. So Auburn, like I said, they did lose two games before coming into the tournament game over Ole Miss. They didn't cover. They basically failed to cover in 3 straight games. So maybe the numbers still even balance out for Tennessee, maybe to get a cover here in this one. I'll take the Vols. Auburn nipped Tennessee 53-51 at home January 25th as Auburn outscored Tennessee 6-0 over the final 2 minutes to win that game. So I'm going to go to the chat right now, see what you have to say about Tennessee and Auburn. Looks like there's a lot of interest in this one in the chat. All right, here we go with Justin is on the Vols here with me. I didn't know we were going to be getting an extra point or so here, Justin. Great that the line's gone in our favor. Next up, here is Thomas on Auburn. And here's Auburn money line for Terrell. It says too talented with player of the year candidate here. Auburn's awesome. There's no doubt about it. Look, I mentioned a lot of times futures here and there. I'm probably going to need a long shot to make it. Although I think I got good prices on all these futures, but I'm going to have 10 teams live once that tournament starts. I'm pretty sure I might cover them here and tell you what we did. Here's Cash Gain on Tennessee, Twisted's on Tennessee, Trap Gods on the under, Cash Gain going over. And Nunya singing Rocky Top here. Our Tops is on Auburn. Gravy's on Tennessee. Thomas is ready for this one. Twisted says, I like the over here in this one. Oops, there it is. He doesn't mind that this one goes over tonight. All right. And Cash Kane says they should beat them for the first time. For the first time. We know that the matchup here was Auburn won in January, but there's some Vols wins here. They won last December. I think they've actually split the last 6 meetings. Wow, Twisted sees a 5 out there. And wow, Tennessee made it to consensus play. Thanks, Thomas. Wow, you guys are on them. I'm on them. There's some Auburn backers in the chat. Make no mistake. Let's make sure we shout those folks out, like our Tomps, like Terrell, and Thomas. So I didn't know it was a consensus play, but Tennessee takes the consensus play today. How about that? We did see some folks on Tennessee in there, like Gravy, like Cash Kane, like Twisted, like me, like Justin. So I mean, it's 5 or 6-3, I guess. Maybe consensus is for the Vols, but felt close. All right, let's go to the other game now and take a look at this one with Alabama taking on Florida. It's funny when you look at the, some of the sites with the rankings and everything. We're not, saying they're wrong, but feels like they could just round up the SEC teams and play the national champion or play a tournament. Long way to go. Anybody can win it. Maybe the SEC won't win the national championship, but here are 2 more contenders, especially Alabama right now. Woo, they looked good, racking up those points. Yesterday, I had a write-up somewhere. You know me, I'm all over the place, but I said in my write-up last night, Alabama could go for 100 here against Florida, and they did. Thought Florida might be able to at least tag along in the game and maybe get the cover yesterday, but it was a blowout victory there, of course, for Alabama over Kentucky. You should have trusted that line. I mean, you see that line move from 4.5 to 7.5 in a high-profile game that isn't an injury or anything. Man, sometimes that line can be telling, and it was Alabama eventually. Oh, I don't even have the line typed in here. What's going on? Here we go. Put it up here. We got Florida, and I'm talking all this Alabama. Florida's favored, of course, by 3.5. Total 175.5. And amazing that it did not go over yesterday, despite all those Alabama points. I called for an over in that game, but not enough scoring for sure in the game for Kentucky yesterday. Okay, Florida's won 4 straight coming into this one. Florida, an incredible 21-6 against the spread as a favorite. But get this, Alabama 6-1 against the spread as an underdog this season. So what are you going to do here in this one? Florida 9-1 against the spread in their last 10 games. Overall, both teams real solid to the number this year, which is incredible. Think of how tough that conference is. Non-conference games early on, you got to think, those SEC teams. We all knew how powerful the conference was. It didn't like they come out of nowhere. They were, stacked to begin the season as well and favored in many games. So for these teams to have impressive records, a combined 43 and 21 against the spread, they're over 67% for these 2 teams combined. Alabama's won just 6 of the last 24 meetings between these 2 teams. Florida's actually covered the spread in 4 out of the last 5 meetings overall. 5 straight meetings between these 2 teams have gone over, including that matchup back just 10 days ago, 99-94. Florida won it as a dog on the road in Tuscaloosa. So let's go to the chat, see what you have here in this one. With Alabama taking on Florida, second SEC game, 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific time here. Boy, am I excited about these games, aren't I? Let's go to the chat here right now. I know what I'm on, so let's see what you have in this one. All right, let's start with Twisted. He's like Alabama, and I don't need to go any further. Here's my pick with Justin today. Ramon Scott going over in every game today. Is this possible here? He's got the over in those Big Ten games. I'm going over without anything here. Justin, he could have put Florida over, but no, he put Alabama because we know it's Alabama that dictates what's going on here. Cash Kane on Florida. I think Nunya is on Alabama here. Trap Gods with us. He's going over here. Thomas likes the Gators. Curtis is going to be, he's our Florida correspondent. Thank you, Curtis. Got to take that seriously here. I'm going with the total over as my play. We'll see. I think I'm going to have a premium in this one, and Nunya says, I follow these teams. Nunya, he's our SEC correspondent practically here. I don't know if he's going with Alabama, but our Tom says Alabama and over. Curtis says our team is big and deep. And Gravy, that's great. VCU in that game today. I picked VCU, and this is my coverage of the A10 semifinals with Gravy here. All I can say, Gravy, is I took VCU to win that tournament before it started. I'm on the record, and they're a big favorite today, of course, over Loyola Chicago. And VCU, and look, I don't know about that other game. It's a toss-up. I mean, Gravy, are you close to that? Are you going to that game? I don't know. I never know. I don't want to say where Gravy is, but I don't know if he's in that area or. All right, here's Super True. He likes the over as well. A lot of overs here with us, but Terrell likes the under, and he'll shave it down here and take it to plus 200. And Thomas also liked BCU there in that one to lay those points. I think they're laying double digits, right? 10.5 or so. All right, so I made my call on the over here. I get worried when I'm on a bunch of overs here, but where's Noli? We need his help. Find us some unders. Twisted doesn't mind the under. All right, let's keep it moving here right now. I've got like 15 games to go over in college basketball, and that's before any of the other games go. Don't let me miss the start of the basketball games. I'm going to make a couple plays. Let's try to do it at least 15 minutes here. I'm going to kind of save it, save it a little bit. All right, let's go to the Big 12 final. With Arizona taking on Houston. How about this for the Big 12 final with Arizona in here, huh? Welcome to the Big 12, Arizona. We knew that maybe in basketball that this would work out for Arizona in this conference. Here, they are an underdog, of course, to Houston, the number one seed in the tournament, one of the top teams in the country, certainly right now with their great winning streak here at this point. They've only lost 4 times all season. Arizona 22-11 here with a couple of victories of late here in the tournament over Kansas and Texas Tech. They got the money in both those games. For Houston, they failed against Colorado in that first win, but then came back against BYU yesterday with the 20-point win, blew them out of the water there for Houston. For Houston, that was their first cover. They actually were not covering games there leading into the tournament. They were winning, but they've been overrated for the most part every time right now. Arizona was also kind of struggling into the tournament as well. They weren't covering. They weren't winning some of those games, but they got hot here right now. And these two teams are not great spread teams this season. Like I said, Houston may be a little overrated and by uh, the public and bookmakers. Some they didn't really have a great record necessarily this season against the number, but still that we knew they might, end up here certainly as the number 1 seed. Arizona number 3 seed. For the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under, including back in February, it was 62-58. Houston got the win on the road and covered the spread. Houston went 21-1 in the regular season in Big 12 play. Houston's won 12 straight and 25 of their last 26 games. They led yesterday 41-20 at half, kind of cruised to the win. They're one of the top defenses in the country, of course, and top 15 in forcing turnovers. They're also a top 5 3-point shooting team as well, surprisingly enough. They shoot nearly 40% from the arc. Arizona here 16-6 in conference play. They've gone just 5-5 in their last 10 games overall. Arizona led that game against Houston at home by 7 points with much of the second half. I think it was midway through the second half. Houston trailed Arizona by 7 and outscored them by 11 points the rest of the way. So, okay, let's see what you have here in this one with Arizona. Here, they looked impressive with these two scores. Look at what they scored here. 86 against Tech, 88 against Kansas. We know that's not necessarily Houston's type of game, but let's go to the chat here right now. Thanks, everybody, for your participation. Here's Twisted with Arizona here. Thomas is on Houston, I think. And Gravy talking about his cousin there, or nephew. Oh, man, I forget what he said there. Trap got on the over here. Justin is on Houston. Our Tomps is on Houston. Now, Houston is my, like I said, overall pick to win this tournament. They're favored by 6.5 here. I do think that Arizona can cover the spread, but I don't want to do that necessarily and be all hokey there. Maybe I can play it later on or something here, but I'm going to go under in the Big 12 championship game. Let me be on the record saying I think that Arizona can cover this spread. But look, here, this will get me off the hook a little bit. Thomas says Houston is a consensus play, so I'm not fading you guys. I'll ride with Houston here. I don't know. I'm trusting you guys. I want to make a bet. My bigger play is going to be on the under here in the Big 12 championship game. I think, look, you look at Houston. We know how they play. They're not like they go under every time. The spread is always adjusted for, what we expect from Houston, but they still went 13-18 to the under as a favorite. Arizona went 19-14 to the over this season, but 2-5 to the under as an underdog. So give me the under here in this one. I think if you look long term in some of these situations for Arizona, these tournament games, probably go over a little bit. But remember, those were in a different conference too. So, and there's no doubt that Arizona has been going over of late here, and not necessarily over. Let's see, last game was under, but they scored 74 in that. I'm sorry, last game was over. 4 straight overs for Arizona is what it is saying. Okay. Here, let's see. Terrell says Houston, they can get ahead big time here and take their foot off the gas. Whether or not Arizona could come back in there. Jawan Roberts is doubtful for the game today against Arizona. That might, just an aside. Joe T, good morning. Hello. And let's see what I think that's it for you guys. I think I've made my call there as well. So, when you're talking about missing Roberts in this game, you're talking about a good rebounder here. He did not play last night in the game against BYU. He left that game against Colorado after just 18 minutes, and he is doubtful for the game today. Roberts, he's a top, a good offensive rebounder, a shot blocker, the 6'8" man in there. He will be doubtful today. So, anyways, Houston is the consensus play. I'll take the under and we'll put it together, shall we? All right. Joe T says he likes San Diego FC tonight. Thank you, Joe. I'm going to shoot for a Major League Soccer card today. I'm going to be involved in these games, but a huge Major League Soccer card today, including my San Diego FC taking on Columbus tonight. A pro sports franchise that has never lost a game, San Diego FC. They're 2-0-1. 2-0-1 with a tie. All right. Thank you, Joe, very much. Okay, so I'm in on the under there. Let's go to the Mountain West now and take a look. Mike, this is the conference that I focus in on the most probably, and Boise State taking on Colorado State here. Colorado State, the number 2 seed. Boise is the number 5 seed after they scored again. Boise, what a run here in Las Vegas for the Boise State Broncos. They looked impressive last night in that game late against New Mexico with that win over Patino's bunch here. We did have a premium pick winner on the under in the game between Boise State last night and New Mexico. Colorado State, though, here comes in on fire. At this point, they're on a winning streak here. They're covering like nobody's business in all these games right now. They've covered 9 of their last 10 games coming in. Boise's been a terrific cover as well, going 18-14 this season. These teams just met 8 days ago, and Colorado State got the win, 83-73 at Boise as a 5.5-point dog. Colorado State was able to get the win there. Colorado State has won 3 straight meetings, including also the game at home, 75-72. They were a 1-point dog in that game. So Colorado State got the money in one and got the money in both as an underdog this season. Currently, the line on the game, showing a pick 'em here on screen. Bovada is pretty much everywhere is a pick 'em, but maybe Boise is a slight favorite. There's a few books out there that have Boise as the favorite here in this one. The 5, like I said, I mean, they're the 5 seed coming in. CSU's the hot team, and they're the 2 seed. But maybe Boise, their personnel has looked more impressive. Maybe Colorado State doesn't look the part out there. They don't look as, I don't want to say engaged. What's the word I'm looking for? Not spectacular. I don't know if you can even call Boise that, but Boise's done a great job with wins over my San Diego State Aztecs and New Mexico. Colorado State beat Nevada by 8 as a 5.5-point favorite in that first game before beating up on Utah State last night. Like I said, Colorado State opened up a big lead and held on, and maybe a minor comeback there by Ohio State to kind of threaten, got within single digits after trailing by double digits most of the game. All right, Colorado State is 8-3 to the over as an underdog. Boise's gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall. I'm ready for the chat here in this one. Colorado State's covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two, and 7 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams have gone under. And this is a conference that, well, I don't know. This conference is kind of featuring some unders here so far, I think, in the tournament. I think if you look overall with the Mountain West in general in the conference tournament. Let me make sure I want to get this number right here. Okay, here it is. 6 straight conference championship games in the Mountain West have gone under. Let's go to the chat and see what you have here in this one. The total here, though, like I said, let me look at it now. We talked about the steam that came in on the under, but again, it had already gone up. It was a bit of a head fake there, possibly. Right now, it's settled at 138 or 137 and a half. Okay, I'm ready to go to the chat and see what you have in this one between Boise State and Colorado State here in Las Vegas. And we'll see what you've got in this one with Trap God. Oh, he's got some MLS too. Okay, Twisted likes Colorado State in this one. He says the total does seem low here. Yeah, it does, especially, but like I said, 6 straight conference championship games have gone under here. You look at the scores from last night, Colorado State went well over, and Boise finished, right about this number. I think it went over this number anyway, but like I said, Boise's been going under for the most part. This one's a little bit, maybe feels a little bit tricky for me here, but all right, I'm game. I'm going to try to go with this game to go under today between Boise and Colorado State. I think I'm going to be against the Sharps here, period, in this game. To me, the Sharps, I think they're split on the side from my observation, but I think the better Sharps are on Boise, and I don't know if I want Boise. I think I want Colorado State. I'm going to go under as my play here. Wow, this one's gone down a little bit. Okay, not much from you guys in the Mountain West, so let's move on. Oh, there's NYC Bar. New York City video assistant replay. I don't know if that's what it means, but that's the only I can think of. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the Big East and take a look at this. Hope you laughed at my synopsis of that incident at the end of the game between Creighton and Connecticut. Yesterday we had Creighton. I had Creighton, you guys, yesterday. And as a premium pick. And we also had the under here on the show. So we kind of cleaned up here a little bit in the Big East. We also had St. John's yesterday here on the show. So let's see what you guys might be doing here. I guess there's some finals. Lots of soccer coming in here right now, and I'm watching some action today. I'm missing the some of the. Well, I'm watching, none of the real. Spain got an early start, and there's some other games that have fired up here, but I was kind of waiting for the Premier League action, top of the hour here for Premier League and our basketball, of course. Okay, let's get to it now with Creighton and St. John's. And, hey, Ricky Pitino, look, I'm a Pitino guy, and if you're not a Pitino guy, maybe I don't know. I'm kind of perceived, I think, as a kind of a goody two-shoes kind of guy, but I'm down with Pitino. I'd hit the town with him, go to the track, go to the club at the end, even when you're in your 70s. I think a coach can hang out at the club. St. John's comes in here, the number 1 seed. They're on a roll here right now, and man, they're just blasting teams, it feels like at this point, man. I might be rooting for this team if I have to hitch my wagon if my San Diego State team doesn't get in. St. John's has done a terrific job. Now, Creighton is a better cover than St. John's, I think. Maybe not necessarily this season. St. John's 20-12 against the spread. Creighton 19-13 against the spread, but Creighton 7-2 against the spread as an underdog. Meanwhile, St. John's 17-12 against the spread as a favorite. Got to be respected there a little bit. St. John's is just 7-1 against the spread in their last 10 games against Creighton, and Creighton has won 8 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams. We know it's a different St. John's now,
Final.
certainly, and that St. John's won the first meeting, or the last meeting, meaning the meeting in last month, about 1 month ago exactly, 79-73. St. John's got the win. They did not cover in that one, although it was tight, 6.5. They did not cover. Meanwhile, the other game was just as tight against the spread, and at Creighton, it was just 57-56. I'm already on the record. We already made our pick for this game on the under. So I guess that kind of explained it there, that game at Creighton.
Final.
The total was 152 on that night, and it went for 113 points. Now, granted, the next night, or the next game at St. John's was 143.5. It went well over at 152 when St. John's was at home. So let's see here what you have in this one between Creighton and St. John's today. I'm already on it, so I'm really just going to take your plays and move
Final.
on, but thank you. Oh, boy, let's see here. Our Tomps is on St. John's, and Twisted is on St. John's. Trap God loves this team, and Thomas says, I've seen enough. St. John's is a consensus play to roll today over this Creighton club. Maybe Creighton, what do they say? I think one of the worst cliches in all of sports betting talk. They shot their load yesterday against Connecticut when they made that dunk for humanity there. AOD, good morning. NYC Bar says Creighton over in that game. Going against me a little bit there, but I get it. I mean, look, Creighton has turned it up here a little bit with some of their overs of late. They were on a 3-game over streak, including their win over DePaul, but the Connecticut game obviously went under. St. John's went under in both of their tournament games thanks to that top-ranked defense. I think can we say it like that? St. John's went 20-2 in tournament play, and Thomas, you can do it however you want to get these people paid. That's okay with me, but I do think that we need, when people are putting their play in, though, they are stating against the spread, and our show kind of is against the spread for the most part. I don't play many money line. Well, I don't give out any. I don't give out money lines very often on these shows. When I give out my plays, I'm always against the spread, but mostly because that's what people are looking for from a public handicapper. And if I've got 75 of you here, 80 of you here right now watching me, I'm going to take the opportunity to give you plays. All plays for days here, never pass. All right, let's I think that's it from you guys here. I'll move on. Creighton's won 6 of their last 7 games overall. St. John's comes in with an 8-game winning streak, having won 18 of 19. Both teams are top 20 defenses here. Like I said, St. John's, you might have their field goal percentage defense might not be as impressive as their overall defensive numbers, but okay, that's it for that one. Okay, we're going to look at some of the actual, we're kind of going in time order now, I think. And we also have, like I said, there's other games here, the extra board games a little bit. Maybe we can squeeze those in. But Mount St. Mary's is taking on Iona in the MAAC final in this one, closely rated here, with Iona a 4.5-point favorite now. There's been a move on Iona for sure here, 4.5, and the total has moved also dramatically to 1 34.5 here. That's a 3.5 point move from the overnight numbers here in this one. Let's take a look and see what's going on here with Mount St. Mary's and Iona. Not the expected matchup, certainly in the MAAC. Iona is the number 4 seed coming into this one with their winning streak, though. They're hot. Mount St. Mary's has looked impressive, too, with 3 straight wins here. In tournament play, they won and covered against Merrimack and Marist. Not in that order. When Marist, they covered. They're on a cover streak right now. Mount St. Mary's. Iona's done a great job, too, with their winning streak. They're pretty much covering every game, although they did fail in the season finale against Sacred Heart, winning by 2 as a 4.5 point favorite. All right. Iona has covered 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams overall, including in February. It was 70-67 in favor of Iona. They were favored by 1 point on the road in that game. Both teams have been terrific against the spread this season. Mount St. Mary's 21-11 ATS, Iona 20-13 ATS. But Iona, for that great record, they were 11-3 against the spread as an underdog. As a favorite, they're just 9-10 against the spread. Meanwhile, for Mount St. Mary's, they're 13-5 against the spread as an underdog. This one's at 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific on the U. Let's get your picks in this one. Mount St. Mary's and Iona. Iona looked impressive, I thought, last night in the game against Quinnipiac, getting the money as a 4.5 point dog. They also covered against Manhattan by 12 as a 2 point favorite. I'm going to the chat here in this one with you guys. See what you have. And let's see here. Iona for Thomas. Donut loves this time of the year. He did not agree with, I know deep down we're not agreeing with the call, right? You got to let it slide, but you can't the problem is we let it slide, on the average free throw. We let it slide. Refs let it slide. They probably could crack down on these guys, once or twice a game, if not more, if they really played it by the letter of the law. It's just that in that situation, you are playing it by the letter of the law, I guess. And yeah, it was disappointing because it was such a good comeback and such a good game, and it felt like it took the air out of the game at the end there. NYC VAR likes the under here in this one. Yeah, I'm torn on the total. I think that's it here for you guys in that one. I got to take Mount St. Mary's. I really think I like what I see right now in this Mount St. Mary's team. I know the Sharps are going to be on Iona. They've already moved this line. I feel like I'm getting the value. And you know what? I'm probably using a premium here because I'm not sure of the total. So I like Mount St. Mary's in this game. I think it's going to just be a close game. In the end is what I think here in that one. Let's keep it moving right now and move to Thomas's neck of the woods and get his opinion here. Maybe not the matchup he was looking for, but Akron is my pick to win the national, the national Akron, go national champions. My pick to win the MAAC championship at the beginning of the tournament was Akron. I'm on the record over there with Mr. Higgs as this pick with Akron, laying the points here today, though, against Miami of Ohio as we get going at the Rocket Mortgage Arena in Cleveland tonight. You've got currently, I think there's been a tiny bit of movement here in this one. Let me find it. All right, here we go. 6.5 and 158.5 currently with the Zips. Favored here in this one, it's Akron that has the longer winning streak of the two teams coming in. Akron looking pretty impressive here as a number one seed, make no mistake. And well, Akron dominates this series. They've won 10 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams and covered 8 of the last 11 meetings overall here. So, but I think if you look at the spread records a little bit, Akron maybe a little bit overrated sometimes. Miami of Ohio went 19-11 against the spread this season, but were much better as a favorite. They were 14-6 against the spread as a favorite, just 5-5 as an underdog this season. Akron, they're 50-50 pretty much against the spread this season and of late as well. Again, maybe favored by too much sometimes, but right now they're a bit on a roll for sure here of late. They've covered both their tournament games here against Toledo and against Bowling Green. They've averaged 98 points in those games. I think that's probably the storyline here in this one. For Miami of Ohio, they've won and covered 4 straight games coming in here. The two teams met on January 25th, and Akron won 102-75. Went well over the 156.5 here. The steam came in on the under. Can Miami of Ohio really slow these guys down in this game right now, especially after Miami of Ohio? The game against Eastern Michigan went over. It was 149.5, but let's go to the chat and see if you have anything on this one between Miami of Ohio and Akron. MAAC championship game, and we'll see what our correspondent Thomas has to say here in this one. All right, here we go. And Thomas says he likes Miami O. Cash Kane likes Akron. Donut might take this one in tonight. Obviously, it's not a sellout, but our Tomps likes Miami of Ohio also. Yeah, Miami of Ohio's done a nice job covering the spread, you guys. I got to take Akron, man. They look so good here. Miami of Ohio's done a very, very nice job, no doubt about it. I'm probably in the minority here, but look, I said I like Miami. I like Akron to win the tournament before the tournament. I know I got to lay some points here, but I'll kind of stick with it a little bit in this one, and I may have a pick on the total as a premium. So give me Akron here, even against some of my friends in the chat. There's Gravy. He likes Akron with me, and good morning to Spoons today. Well, we've already gone through a bunch of college games, and we didn't have Spoons here, but maybe we'll get something out of Spoons there from some of the games. Spoons, we've already covered the big conference semifinals and a few of these tournament finals. We got a big one next. Let's go to the ACC. You talk about this. Yeah, we've already got the word just moments ago, actually, that Cooper Flag is going to miss the game again. So we knew it. We know it. We just was hoping or thinking that maybe status could change. Now, look, I know everybody's all bent out of shape, and Flag, look, if you ever sprained your ankle, you can play on a sprained ankle as well. It depends. I mean, high ankle sprain, whatever. Give everybody the benefit of the doubt. Also, Malik Brown will be out again in this game. Rain Smith is out for Louisville. He's also got a turned ankle here, but if it was I don't know the true severity. I don't know if we really know, but if it's a title game, maybe you wrap it up, maybe you play through it or try to help your team or whatever. He's a terrific player, probably even without his full speed, but let's not dwell on that. They look great without him in the first half there yesterday, and only hung on because of what we were talking about there with in the chat. What Donut was saying, and we talked about at the beginning with the lane violation, whatever. Duke was dominating that game. Carolina made a great job to come back. Look, we all won. Carolina, right? Team Steam consensus on Carolina. I had Carolina. I had the under in that game. But in the Louisville game, I whiffed. I whipped in that game. Look, it's funny because I've been kind of a Louisville backer, and I went with Clemson in the game and had the total wrong too. But let's see what you guys have. Maybe I need your help in this one. I feel pretty confident, actually. Maybe look at the total has moved big time. There, I'm showing 147 on screen. Yeah, it's 147. It might even be a little bit higher than that. It opened as low as 142 and a half in this game. So it feels like the Sharps are already telling you that this is going to be maybe a high scoring game here. The widely reported Steam came on the under. If you look at Louisville, kind of in this role, this is kind of their over role here when they play good teams. Sometimes they get into a little bit of a truck fest. And both teams come in super hot here, obviously. Congratulations to Louisville with this run here currently. You might forget that they went 20 and 2 in conference play, won 11 in a row, 21 of their last 22. What was I thinking in that game against Clemson is what it feels like. But it wasn't easy. Louisville won these last two games by just 2 and 3 points overall against Clemson and Stanford. They covered, of course, as a dog, but they did not cover against Stanford. So for Duke here, they failed to cover in both of the tournament games, including yesterday's 74 to 71 as a 7-point favorite. And they, of course, failed against Georgia Tech as well. Favored by 23 and a half in that one. I'll get my water break. All right, thank you, fam. I think I'm ready. We got to make those picks here too on those other games, but here we go. All right, Gravy was talking about that Akron game. He says, ramp it up, take Akron to blow them out. And Big O says, yeah, that sprain, right? It's the worst, right? Because you think you broke it at the beginning, and you call your girlfriend up and say, hey, you sprained my ankle, come over. Okay, might have been flashing back there. Louisville here for Twisted. NYC Bar is on Twisted. Robert's on, he's on Louisville. Slip of the tongue there. Robert's on Louisville here. R. Thompson's talking about that last game there. Twisted says if Duke struggle with the heels in the second half, they'll definitely have a time with Louisville. Okay. Bobby Mack agrees. And let's see here. NYC Bar says no flag in this one. Yeah, well, what can we do? Didn't bother him last game for the most part, for most of the game. Spoons is liking the dogs up and down this card today. Gravy's like Louisville in Louisville money line in Louisville money line in his round robins. All right. The Devils have won 10 in a row here. They've won 26 of their last 27. They led that game last night by 21 points. Ended up winning by 3. Duke, another top 5 defense for sure, it feels like, in the country. And for Louisville coming in here, they've won 11 in a row, 21 of their last 22. As I said, Duke won 76 to 75 back on December the 8th. Louisville led that game with about 13 or 14 minutes left in the game. They led by 7 there, but Duke came all the way back. They outscored them by 18 points over the last 13-23 back on December the 8th. Duke has won the last 5 meetings between the two teams and gone 4-1-1 against the spread. 4 of the last 6 meetings have gone under between these two teams. Louisville 6-2 against the spread as an underdog. Duke 20-12 against the spread as a favorite. Both teams solid against the spread, but Louisville maybe a little bit more solid. Let's go to the chat. See what you have here with the Louisville and Duke. All right, here we go. Trap Gods on Louisville. Thomas says, like it, smash it, pass it around. Gravy's going to, I didn't know Gravy got to cross the border to get his plays in. Oh my gosh. How long does that take, Gravy? I guess you're not in Virginia. Okay. And Spoon says what I'm thinking. Spoon says, yeah, it's always good in the right. So here's what I said, Spoons. You weren't here when the monologue, and I'll say it again because it's a synopsis for the game, right? Is that yes, and not saying that they step up necessarily. I was kind of wrong in a way. I said that not having Flag is going to make the team dysfunctional and affect them in that way. Well, that definitely was not the case early on. They clicked, they look good, they're Duke, right? They've got great players, they've got a great system. I thought Flag, he does so much. We know he's a dominant player. Anyone who is an anti-Cooper Flag, like this guy is going to be a flash in the pan, or he doesn't have the game for the NBA. They're wrong. I mean, this guy is going to be an all-pro NBA player. This is guys that can't miss. You don't, I know we have some question marks sometimes with some players, but some you don't. And I don't think Flag is, I think we're looking at a possible generational player here, or, an all NBA type of player. But he does so much other than just his offense, is a scoring contribution with everything that he does on the court. And I thought that would be the effect. And we did see that in the second half. After Duke, and maybe with adjustments from, give Carolina credit as well, right? So, all right, here, Louisville, I'll do it. Let me take it with a team consensus. Let's just move on. Thomas says Louisville consensus. I'm on with team consensus here. Let's take Louisville. I've explained it enough. All right, they're a great team. Louisville's having a great, incredible year. And in addition to what Spoons is saying there about, yes, beating Carolina, holding on against Carolina. Look, maybe one thing, when the momentum was coming, you started to just say, hey, this is Duke and Carolina. Now, good job by Carolina this year to almost kind of improve, right? Or here, but Louisville's on a different level. All right. It's going to be a great one. That's going to be a great one. We're not even done yet. Let me see here. We've got just a few minutes here, so let's get to some of this action here at the top of the hour right now. I think is a good time to stop here and look at these matchups. America East. I don't even have a graphic for it because, oh, wait, maybe I do. Yes. Okay, top of the hour here with Maine and Bryant in the America East championship game. This one goes off at 11 Eastern and 8 a.m. Pacific here for a bid. Bryant's the number 1 seed coming into the tournament. They're on the winning streak, longer winning streak coming in right now. They haven't been a great spread team necessarily. Bryant's been good all year. They've been respected, and they've had to lay a lot of points. Going up here against Maine. Maine hasn't really been a great cover either. They're just getting hot. Here, winning over Lowell, 72-64, and beating Vermont, 57-42. Beating Vermont is no great shakes. You might say, where did these guys come from? Well, these guys didn't play. Remember, the other round of the tournament was earlier in the week, like on Tuesday. When was it? Tuesday or Wednesday, I think. This tournament's taken like 2 weeks to play between these two. They played the uh, games on campus, and this one is, it shouldn't even say versus there. This one is in Smithfield. So Bryant, the home team here in this one, and that's part of it. Is they're favored here in this one, the Bulldogs. Let me make sure that line is current. Yeah, 7 and 144 and a half, up to 144 and a half. I'm not buying. Are you kidding me? This game is not going to get to 144 and a half, is it? Let's see what you guys think here in this one. If anything, Bryant. Here we go. Maine and Bryant. Take a look at some of the maybe a few stats just coming into this game. Like I said, Bryant's on the winning streak here. They failed in the win over Baltimore. 85 to 74 is a 15.5 point favorite, but they covered against Albany last time out. 91 to 78. Bryant at home 4 and 8 to the under this season. Although Maine has been kind of an over team, they are 5 and 8 to the under as an underdog here in this one. America East Championship. Let me get the numbers here. This is usually a dead solid under as well. Between these two teams. I don't know if I have it here necessarily. These two teams met, however, on March the 1st. It was 80 to 72. Bryant crushed them as a 2.5 point favorite, and they also beat them 81 to 55 at home back on January 4th. That was 136 points. So the meeting at Maine went over. The meeting at home here did go under in a blowout. So see what you got. Anything here, top of the hour here, just 5 minutes away between these two. All right, here we go. Bryant for NYC VAR. And
Final.
Billy Ho says he likes Duke on the money line in that other game. Here's Twisted. He likes Maine here. Thomas says he's got Bryant on the money line. Spoon says Maine will lack the size here in this one against Bryant. And he took Maine and Princeton. We're going to get to the Princeton game here. I better make the pick here in this one between. Here's Bobby Mack, though. He does like Maine to get this money. Spoon just told me he liked a bunch of dogs, and now he's going with the favorite. Oh, he says, oh no, he's on Maine. He says, well, I don't know if I see the play there. He's got some good information, but okay, I'll just make my call here, though, in this one, and I've got Bryant to roll. I got Bryant in the under. I think under is my more confident play here. I'm going to do, but hey, look, every time I do these two-teamers right now, I'm pretty good, and I'm not really a two-teamer type of guy, but I have some fun on the show, and I'm going to take Bryant. If I had to do, Bryant, maybe a quarter, maybe a half play. The under, I think, is a pretty solid play for me here. I like the under big time in the game between Maine and Bryant. All right, let me go to the other game here right now. In the Ivy League, Juan took the over. Hi, Juan. Nice to see you there. Spoons, thank you. Let me put Spoons plays up here while I kind of get ready for the next game. And I got to go. I got to get on with it because it's the matchup between Princeton and Yale in the Ivy League here, top of the hour, just 3 minutes away. So grab your app, or maybe you've already made your bet. Let me know what you have in this one between Princeton and Yale here this morning. I know what I'm going with, and I'm going to do another double play here with this game. So I do like the under again in this one as my favored play here, but I'm going to mix it up here. Or I don't know if I'm mixing it up, but I'm going to take Princeton here in this one, plus the points. I figure Yale's probably going to be very popular. You've got Yale coming in the number 1 seed, Princeton just the number 4 seed here in this one, and the Ivy League here. Only the top 4 teams of the Ivy League make the tournament, so that that's why we've got the semifinals already today. If you're like, where did this come from?
Final.
So, anyways, give me the under here as my preferred play. We're just about to tip it off, and I like Princeton. Same thing as the other one. I like the total, probably twice as strong. If you're trying to wonder how does Ramon, what's the better here, this is kind of similar, right? I like the total under, probably twice as strong as the side, is what it feels like to me. Twisted said Maine will hang in there.
Final.
And Robert's on the under there. Twisted went with Princeton here. And that's what I'm going to do. Look, I can't sell you on Princeton's spread number. They were terrible against the spread this year. They may have had expectations coming in that they couldn't fulfill. They went 7-19 against the spread this season, despite finishing 19-10 overall. So this one is being played up there in Providence, up there in Rhode Island. So that's where this one will be. They'll be, basically playing the 2 games in a span of 24 hours here in this one. So a little bit tricky here with the Ivy League tournament here, but still should be fun. And we're just about to tip. I kind of want to put it on here and find a way to watch the game here. I mean, Yale, you've got Pula. Oh God. What's his name? Pulakidis. I should look it up here real quick. Yeah. He's really good, 20 points a game. We know him. Lost the graphic here. I don't even have a graphic for this one, Thomas, so I'll just leave it blank here at this point. I think we're done. The game's going to start here any second. So, again, I'm on the under. Both games right now that are starting, I like the under stronger than the sides, but I do like Princeton to get the money here. Princeton only an underdog 5 times this year, so it shows you kind of where the team stands. Yale was 19-3 against the spread as a favorite. I don't want to go over the Yale numbers because if you want to look at them, you'll take Yale probably. They're 19-3, not against the spread. Yale was 19-3 straight up as a favorite. Against the spread, though, they were still quite good here. Let me look it up real quick. 14-8. 14-8, still very, very solid. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. Oh, we got a few more, but that was the games. I want to get those off here real quick. Appreciate it. Getting ready to go here. Okay, so we're going to continue on now. We've kind of moved along from those two, and let's go to more championship action here in Conference USA with Jacksonville State and Liberty. Here in this one, you've got Liberty favored by 6 tonight, and the total here 130. In this one for
Final.
Liberty comes in the number 1 seed. They were my pick to win here the national, the Conference USA title. And let's go through this one. Liberty comes in on a 4-game winning streak here. They did not cover last out against Kennesaw, but they did get a cover against UTEP to open the tournament. Both teams were excellent against the spread this season. Both teams 20-10, basically, ATS this year. But Jacksonville State was 11-5 against the spread as an underdog. Liberty 14-10. Against the spread as a favorite. Jacksonville State's covered 4 out of the last 5 meetings between the two teams including 59-55. Liberty got the win. They did not cover in the game back on February 27th. Back on February 1st, it was Jacksonville State getting the win at home as a dog to Liberty in that one. They're playing this one neutral site game in Huntsville, Alabama, known for their Conference USA hosting. None if you're there. All right. So the Flames, we know what they do. They love to shoot that three, and but also they're also a very good perimeter defensive team as well. So it's not a high total. I mean, 130. So let's see what you have though here, Jacksonville. I know we got to pick up the pace a little bit, but really enjoy. You know, you see a lot of people talking conference tournament basketball today on some of these shows, but hey, we've been here all year, right? Even if we did college basketball last, we were here every time doing our show, doing our thing. Jacksonville State might be perceived as a bit of an over team in situations like this. Look, I'm already on Liberty kind of to win the tournament. I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go with the under here with Jacksonville State and Liberty in this one. I'm going under tonight. Looking at the numbers here, there's not a lot to say for Liberty. They're kind of a 50-50 team over-under wise. In fact, they're 14-11 to the over as a favorite. But Jacksonville State did go 11-17 to the under this season. So go ahead and give me the under in this one, and you guys can chat. And I'll put it up there. We got Liberty money line here for Thomas. And NYC Bar goes with Jacksonville State. And Robert McCormick, Jacksonville State here. Liberty for Twisted. That might be it for you guys in this one. And I've got to take here the under as my play in the Conference USA championship game. All right, next up is my favorite matchup of the night with UC San Diego Tritons going up against UC Irvine. I know I probably talked about these guys a little bit too much this season, UC San Diego. Actually, we didn't do it too much, but only because of their, pretty strong story here. They did not even have a Division I team until 5 years ago. They had to do that dumb thing where, they had to sit out 5 years of no tournament, and, they might have won. They've been good all these years. They've been slowly improving. It took a while. They dominated. They were great as a Division II team, but nonetheless, they've reached this point right now, and they're practically, if not the best spread team in the country this season. Maybe overlooked for sure, but UCI, they're the number 2 seed, and they come in here with the basically identical record. UCSD is 29-4. UCI is 28-5 coming in. So let's see what you have here in this one. Now, both teams won on the other's home floor this season. UCI won at UCSD 60-52 in January as a 5-point dog. UCSD won at Irvine 85-67 as a 1-point favorite back in February. Both the last game went over, the first game went under. UCSD went 24-7 against the spread this season, including 17-7 as a favorite. They've covered 8 of their last 10 games overall, including the win over UCSB last night by 18 points. Meanwhile, for Irvine, they beat Cal Poly 96-78. Hey, we were looking at an over in that game, weren't we? At the Cal Poly and that top pace, they weren't ever going to be able to slow down Irvine yesterday in that game. So we did have a premium pick winner with Poly and Irvine game to go over. We can go to the chat, though, here. UC Irvine is 0-3 to the under as an underdog this season.
Team play.
UCSD has gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall. See if you guys like this one. I love this game. I can't wait. Tonight, 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 Pacific. This one is just down the street from me. I should probably go over there. I remember hanging out back in high school with former UCSD was my classmate. We were like two sports nerds, Chris Carlson, and he went on to coach UCSD, and he also ended up as an assistant coach with Northern Arizona, with UC Santa Barbara, with Pitt, and I ended up talking sports betting on a YouTube channel. He went on to be a major college assistant coach and head coach. He coached this program, and he was my buddy in high school. We'd talk basketball and other sports. I'm really proud of him. Okay, let's take a look here at maybe some picks in this one from you guys. Thank you, Spoons. Great job, great contributions here, and you're doing a great job on your appearances over there across the street. Thomas says it's already 5-0 Yale. Where is it? I think it's on a commercial here for me. Thomas might take UCSD. Cash Cane's on Irvine, and NYC VAR is on Irvine. Look, I've got UCSD to win this tournament, so kind of that same thing. I'm on the Mr. Higgs contest over there with UC San Diego. I think I came in like 10th place in the first one, so I hope I do better in this one with my picks here. All right. I think I'm ready to make the call here in this one between UC Irvine and UC San Diego. I've got the over here in this one in the Big West Championship game. I'm going over. The steam came in on the under here. I'm listing right now 5.5 and 132 on screen, but I'm getting a little bit of value because right now it is higher. It's like 135, 134.5, maybe even 135. I'm going under. I'm going over, so I've missed out on some value here for sure. The spread's definitely gone up here a little bit. In this one, 135 at some spots. Okay, I've got a few more here. Stick with me, everybody. We'll still get to a little bit. We're going to go fast on the NBA and NHL today. It's all about college basketball today. Here we are in the WAC. The WAC championship game, the playoffs in the Western Athletic Conference. Dare I call them the WAC-offs here, with Grand Canyon favored by 4 on the road, or here in Las Vegas at the Orleans Arena, of course.
Critical notice.
And we've got Grand Canyon. It's 4.5 now. The total maybe 142.5 with the Lopes. If you know who that is, that's Grand Canyon, the Antelopes. There we go. 4.5 and 142 for Grand Canyon here on the road against Utah Valley. Utah Valley is the number 1 seed, but they're a 4.5-point underdog. Now, there could be some perception because Grand Canyon, if you're new to this sort of thing, Grand Canyon's been good for years. We know that. They went 25. Both teams are 25-7 coming into this one. But, Grand Canyon has had, they're almost an online school for the most part. But they've been playing basketball for years and tearing it up. Utah Valley has lost 6 of the last 8 meetings against these two teams. 9 of the last 13 meetings between the two teams have gone over. Utah Valley comes in here with a winning streak. They covered both of their tournament games over Utah Tech and over Seattle handily. For GCU, they also covered both of their games over Arlington and Cal Baptist last night. Barely getting that money as an 8.5-point favorite, as a 9-point win. Utah Valley's been terrific against the spread, 19-11 this year, but just 6-5 against the spread as an underdog. But Grand Canyon, forget about it. They're terrible against the spread because you probably know, you guys are mostly experts in the chat. This team's, always going to get hopped up a little bit on the spread because of who they are. Now, I've got Grand Canyon as my pick to win this tournament, and they're a favorite here, of course, but does feel a little bit tricky because Utah Valley much better against the spread and a great record against the spread. And not only that, they did win one of the meetings. They won at home 72-64 as a 3.5-point dog. Grand Canyon did cover when they were at home 9.5, winning by 18 points. So let's see what you have here in this one. Utah Valley did go under in 7 of 11 games as an underdog this season. Let's see what you're going to do here. Last game we still got another couple of games I'm going to cover on the extra board, but this is the last game on the main board at 9:40 Eastern, 6:40 Pacific here in this one. And look, I'm on Grand Canyon. I think it's I'm going to take them to cover as well. I've got them to win it. I respect Utah Valley a lot. I think maybe people will look at maybe they can look at the spread and say Utah Valley's got a great chance, and I'm sure they do. I'm still going to take Grand Canyon here. All right, get some comments here, if anything. And under here for Utah Valley. Billy Ho, hello. Robert's on the under here in this one, and yeah. You think, Robert? I think so. That's going to be probably a premium for me today. But let's get it on my service here a little bit. If not, Robert, we'll just go under for sure. That's it for that one. Nobody commenting very much. Got a couple more, though. We'll cover them real quick. Championship games, we're going to cover them. Now, South Carolina State's taking on Norfolk this afternoon at 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific in the MEAC final here. Norfolk is favored by 2, total 142.5. It's gone down here a little bit for sure in this one. And Norfolk favored, but I have South Carolina State as my pick to win this tournament over Mr. Higgs' contest. And look, Norfolk's the number 1 seed. They're on a little winning streak here, but they didn't cover in their tournament games against Morgan and against Eastern Shore. Now, granted, they were big double-digit favorites, so maybe they were overrated a little bit, but Norfolk's been good against the spread all season, 19-11 ATS, but most of that great record was in the early season when they were an underdog on the road, like many of these teams. They were actually just 11-9 against the spread as a favorite, and they were 8-2 against the spread as an underdog. So they're favored here, and it's kind of doing them a disservice here, it feels like, by just calling them Norfolk on the screen there. It's kind of disrespectful. We can do it in passing when we're talking gambling, but got to have the graphic looking good. Norfolk State. There we go.
Critical notice.
All right, so South Carolina State 18-10 against the spread this season, and they were not good as an underdog, actually. 5-6 against the spread, 13-4 against the spread as a favorite. They did most of their good job in conference play, and they come in here on a longer winning streak for sure than Norfolk. They finished the season pretty strong. Now, they didn't cover against Coppin. They were favored by 16.5 and escaped with a 5-point win. But they did beat up on Central the next time out yesterday, 88-67 in that one. I did have what did we do here? I don't think we ended up with any plays there in this tournament, but go ahead in the semifinals. I made a few bets, but let's see what you have here. The two teams met on March 1st. It was 91-88 in favor of South Carolina State. They covered at home, 3.5-point favorite to snap a losing streak against Norfolk. Norfolk had been winning several games in a row in the series, although it should be mentioned that Norfolk failed to cover the spread in both regular season Norfolk did not cover the spread at home. 67-65 is an 8-point favorite. They also failed to cover last year against them in the same role. So let's see what you have here. South Carolina State taking on Norfolk State here at 1 Eastern and 10 Pacific. This one's set to go here shortly. In this one, let's see what you got. Tough one. This one's more tough. I guess I'm already on South Carolina. I'll just take South Carolina State as my pick. I mean, I need them to win. I've got them as a dog. I picked them at the beginning of the tournament. Let me just take South Carolina State here in this one. The Sharps are going to be on Norfolk today. I'm pretty sure about that. But I'll take South Carolina State. And we'll go to the chat and see what you have here real quick. I got to get rolling, huh?
Critical notice.
Redbeard said Princeton's asleep here. Robert's on South Carolina State. He might be on the under here as well. I don't know if that was the last game. Twisted on South Carolina State. NYC Bar, South Carolina State. And I think that's going to be it in this one. I'm going to take South Carolina State. Okay, I got one more here, I think. One more? Yes, we got to go to the SWAC. All right, we're in the SWAC here now with Alabama State and Jackson State here in this one. And we got Jackson State favored by 4 and the total 139.5. Maybe it's 3.5, 139.5. Both teams come in here hot. You've got the number 2 seed, Jackson State, up against the number 5 seed in Alabama State. And boy, they're on a roll right now. Alabama State's done a nice job with that. They beat Grambling. They were favored. Grambling was the one that kind of spoiled the brackets a little bit with their early win and knocked out the top seed. But they're on a little bit of a roll here, Alabama State, right now. But Jackson State, much the best here. Jackson State's gone 2-0, covering both their tournament games over Florida A&M and Cookman. During the end of the regular season, they were winning but not covering in conference play. Alabama State's been covering left and right. Only the fact that they were playing Grambling. Grambling played a great game yesterday, too, to kind of hang in there. Jackson State, 19-14 against the spread this season, 10-6 against the spread as a favorite. Alabama State, not so good against the number. Well, 50-50. 50% team against the number, it feels like, pretty much. So see what you want to make a pick here on this one. Jackson State won the regular season meeting 77-70 back on January 11th. Let's see what you have here in the SWAC tonight. Championship game, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific on the U. All right, I'm going to the chat here. See, I'm just having a little bit of an issue here real quick, but I'll get back on track. All right, here we go. Okay, here's Twisted with Alabama State in this one. All right. And I guess I'll make my call. Not much from you guys here in this matchup. I got to go under here. Funny, right? I was talking about the MAAC and the SWAC, and how did I end up on an under there yesterday with the game between or over with Morgan and Norfolk? After I explained for the last 3 days about this tournament, how when they get to the tournament, all the scoring stops, and they haven't all been unders, but In fact, a Central game ended up going over last night in the MAAC. But you look at it here, we did have Bethune-Cookman and Jackson State under as a premium pick yesterday, and there was no excuse. We should have had the under in that Grambling Alabama State as well after I explained it all about how these games go under there. So, all right, let's move on here. Thank you, guys. Oh, NYC Barmy with the under, Robert with the under. Thanks, everybody. That's it for college basketball. That is it for college basketball. We spent almost 2 hours of college basketball. We didn't even talk about them all, but thank you, everybody, for a great season. We got a few more games tomorrow, and, of course, the tournament next week. Wow. Let's go quickly, please, now get to the NBA with the Celtics and the Nets here. It might be just picks. Get your pens, pencils, and rotation orders ready. We've got to finish this show, I would say, in the next 40 minutes and cover 8 games in the NBA and 11 games in the NHL. How are we going to do it? Appreciate everyone joining me. Got 110 of you in here right now, but if you got to go, I appreciate it. Let's talk about the NBA. And again, I'm probably just going to go with the plays here a little bit. Everything's at night in the NBA, starting at 6 Eastern and 3 Pacific. Brooklyn and Boston will start us off. Nate, I don't know if he's still out there. He might have just stopped in the early to say hi. I don't know if he's working there or just listening. But we've got NBA here today with the Celtics to start us off. And where do we stand in the Celtics in this type of – I don't know if we want to even look at the Nets necessarily, right? Here, Brooklyn has lost 9 straight games at home against Boston. They've covered the spread in 4 straight home games off of a loss coming in. They're getting big double digits here in this one. So maybe we could try Brooklyn here, but it doesn't feel that comfortable, really. It's just a matter of which Boston is going to come out. How do they feel about, covering 10 points here? It is down to 10, 215.5. There we go. Got Jaylen Brown questionable, KP questionable, Cam Thomas. There was hope that Thomas would be in, but he's out. He needs more rest here. Story broke late last night from Shams Charania about the NBA investigating several teams of resting their players here down the stretch, whether or not they're faking it, lying, or injuries. There is definitely something to this. I don't think it relates to any gambling issues or anything like that. These are team decisions, but there's going to be investigations and there could be fines for some of these teams moving forward that have rested some of these players that may be been healthy enough to play. But it was a story that broke on ESPN last night. If you want to check it out, NBA officially, they announced it. They are investigating several teams for resting, and we know it's an issue. We're not making fun of it or light of it, but it's something that is in the news there last night in a story from Charania about the investigation. Okay, the Sharps are clearly going to be on the Nets here. It's just a matter of do we want to be on them? Do we want to get with them or anything like like that? So let's go to maybe the chat here and see what you guys have here. Boston and the Nets. This one's tough, actually. Thank you, Twisted. Great job. NYC is on the over. Robert's on the over, and Cash Kane is on the under here in this one. Okay, man, this one feels a little bit tough here for me, but I'm going to end up here trying the over in this one with Brooklyn and Boston. I've got I've got the under here in this one as my play with Brooklyn and Boston. I might have given it away there. I don't know. Maybe I won't be on the Celtics here when it finally comes down to making the call, laying the points, but probably lean that way anyway. Give me the under in this one. I'm sorry, folks. We're going to go fast here. Might be just plays. That one Thunder and Pistons. Hey, this is a sneaky good game here, isn't it? Every game's good with the Thunder. Thunder on the road here, favored by 4.5. 4.5. Move is on the Pistons here, total 235.5 here in this one with the Thunder on the road against the Pistons here. Thunder off of a win last out. Thunder beat Boston 118-112. They've had a couple nights off coming into this one. Meanwhile, the Pistons played back-to-back games against Washington. Remember, they lost to Washington last time out. Maybe they were reading their own headlines. Here, they've given some back of late after that incredible streak that they were on. But feels like for me, Detroit might be the call here. The widely reported steam came in on Detroit. I know handicappers still want to take the Thunder here in this one, but maybe it's a little bit of an indicator in this one here that the move is on the Pistons. Why wouldn't maybe take Detroit here in this one? Give me the Pistons against the Thunder today. I'll take them to bounce back against OKC. Won't go over too much of the trends today to get the show kind of over with, but Cash Kane likes OKC money line. Detroit's 22-14 as a dog. Let's just put that out there. OKC covers a lot. We know that, but again, Pistons in this role pretty good. They're just 15-14 against the spread as a favorite. Underdog is their best role here. Robert does say over here in this one. I'm torn on the total. I don't even know what's going to make my card, but we know OKC is a big time over here. VAR is on the under. Okay, next up. Bulls and Rockets. Rockets are favored in this one by 8.5. The total is down here to 229.5. The widely reported steam did come in on the Bulls and also on the Rocket on the under. Bulls and under were the overnight steam here a little bit. The Rockets are hot again. Obviously, this is a rock. Everybody said when Fred came back, and he's been in and out of the lineup a little bit, but he had a bad game. It's not all about Fred. It is all about Fred. It feels like a little bit here. They covered 4 in a row. I don't think he's been in there for all, but they're back to playing Houston ball. It feels like it's not like they were playing a very difficult or very bad team. They beat Dallas, covered them. Well, they're bad. We know that. Beat up on Phoenix, beat up on Orlando. I guess they were playing some mediocre team, but they're on a cover streak again, on a winning streak again. Meanwhile, Chicago's won and covered 4 straight games. Good on you, Chicago. This has been nice. Both teams are 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. Houston's a good cover, 26-20 as a favorite. But Chicago, I don't know. I think it's worth talking about that they're playing pretty decent here right now. And if anything, Chicago, we know that they are in a desperate position. They are teetering right on the edge. Well, they've got a comfortable lead over the Raptors by 4.5 games, but they are sitting 10th in the playoff picture right now. In the play-in, they're in, but they could stand to keep winning here a little bit. So see what you got in this one between Chicago and Houston here. Kind of a clash, a little bit of hot teams right now, and I think the spread's probably just a little bit too high, and I'm going to take the Chicago Bulls to hang in there tonight against the Rockets. Fred's in there. I love it. Thomas says go Houston money line, but Cash Kane's with me on the Bulls. All right. Here's NYC Bar on Houston. Thank you to Cash, to Thomas, to NYC Bar, and to Robert for rolling with me as members of the chat All-Stars. I would type in Grok. Go to Grok and type in Ramon Scott Mornings. Who are the chat All-Stars on the Morning Steam with Ramon Scott? And I think you might see something. Okay. Also, here just moments ago, Steam, Alabama and Florida, Steam to the over here. The game might start by the time I get off the air. You guys, this total was 170. as low as 171 DraftKings opened it. I think in general it was 174. We are now up to 177 in that one between Alabama and Florida. We gave out the under. It might have been 170. What was it when we did it, you guys? It was uh, lower for sure. Well, I'm on the over there with Alabama and Florida. Anyway, here we go. That's it for that game. We're moving fast, you guys. Pacers and Bucks tonight, with Pacers on the road getting 5.5 from the Bucks, total 234.5. Pacers have won 2 games in a row coming into this one against Philadelphia and Milwaukee, but they didn't cover the spread. Well, the Milwaukee game might have been a push, but still, Indiana's not covering anything right now. Even when they're winning, they're not really looking that great here of late. So let's see what you've got, though, in this one with Indiana taking on Milwaukee. I guess I could try to squeeze in a few trends here for sure. Milwaukee won and covered against the Lakers, of course, beat them up last time out to snap a 3-game losing streak in this one. But in general, Milwaukee's won 13 of the last 17 games at home between these two teams and went 4-1 against the spread in the last 5 games. Overall here between these two, 6 of the last 8 meetings have gone over, but Indiana's gone under in 6 of their last 7 games overall. Let's see what you have with the Pacers and the Bucks here tonight in this one. All right. This one's a tough one. This one's a tough one, I think, for me. I'm looking at my pick here and see what I can do here with this one. All right, I'll make the call here right now, and I'm going to go under tonight in the matchup with Indiana and Milwaukee. The widely reported steam did come in on the under here in this one. Indiana, like I said, they've gone under in 8 of their last 10. Both teams are over teams this season for sure. Indiana 17-8 to the over as an underdog. Milwaukee 27-9 to the over as a favorite. So shouldn't have looked at the trends for this one. I'd like the under, mostly on the eye test, I think. Give me the under with Indiana and Milwaukee at 234.5. And let's see what we got. We've got Milwaukee money line here for Thomas. Under here for VAR. Okay. I'm glad we got some under support there. Cash Cane does take the over here. Yeah, Indiana's been the team that's kind of been going under for sure. They've gone under in 4 straight. Next up is a good one here between, or anyway, the Heat and the Grizzlies. I'm trying to get back on the Heat here. One of these days I might win one. Again, as I said, I want to start taking the Heat here, but they're on a losing streak right now. Although they haven't necessarily failed all the games of late. They have failed 4 straight, to be fair. Memphis, however, has also failed in 4 straight games overall, although they did have a winning streak before they lost to that Cleveland team last night. Of course, on fire, Cleveland refused to lose at this point. Boston played Miami, of course, in yesterday's game. Hey, we had in that game both Boston. It was a consensus play. I agreed with you guys. I think I put it out there as a premium. I said, hey, the chat's going to be right. Also, we gave out the under on the show yesterday in that one. And in the Memphis game, we did have the Cavaliers as our premium pick yesterday. So we've got those teams zeroed in on a little bit. Anyway, here tonight between Miami and Memphis, man, I want to be on Miami here so bad. I just wish they haven't lost all these games in a row. But situationally, Memphis not covering anything. We know that they've been struggling to get any numbers at all right now. They've failed in 9 of their last 10 coming in, often as a favorite. It's not like they're losing all the games, but uh, remember how good they were as a favorite. They're all the way down to 25-19 as a favorite. Meanwhile, Miami not great, of course. 28-37 against the spread, struggling right now. This is going to be a little bit tricky tonight, but I'm taking the Miami Heat tonight against Memphis. Looking for spots to play Miami. I do think they're going to snap out of this funk. Maybe it'll be at home, but I'm taking them tonight. All right, Memphis money line for Thomas. It's going to be all Grizzlies here from you guys for sure. There you got NYC bar also money line. Cash Kane, Grizzlies to cover. NYC bar says Wiggins will be out. Remember, that was the thing in one of those games. They were talking about a lot of players that were out, and then Wiggins. I didn't know if I didn't see that actually, so appreciate that NYC bar. I didn't know actually. I'm making this pick. Let me look at this because I'm making this pick actually with Wiggins in the lineup. Now, like I said, I do a lot of situational handicapping that if a player is out, the line will be adjusted. And often when if you get my picks and you're like, boy, this player's out, I wonder what Ramon, I'm usually going to stick with the play because I'm making situational plays. I'm making how teams do on the road against certain organizations and things like that. So unless there's been a drastic, hey, if you have questions in your own mind, don't play the game, right? But just know that usually we got to go to breaking news right now. Thomas has got a consensus play for the Grizzlies. I'm against the consensus here. All right, we got breaking news coming up. All right. We just found out moments ago that Villanova has fired head coach Kyle Neptune after 3 years and, well, 0 NCAA tournament appearances. Villanova, a storied franchise dating back to the days of Rolly Massimino longer, and, of course, other coaches, Jay Wright as well. So we'll see what is going to happen here with Villanova moving forward. Obvious Neptune was not going to be a fit there. Look, they were coming off that Final Four year with a bunch of talent, had a bad year, and maybe the handwriting was on the wall here in this one. What names could surface to return to or to move to Villanova? Could it be a guy like Chris Collins? Could it be Richard Pitino from New Mexico? Could it be a guy like Ryan Odom, Mitch Henderson, Porter Mosier? Lots of names could be tossed out there for the job at Villanova. They needed a Jay Wright guy. They didn't get it. So other than those guys, maybe Tony Skinn could be another guy in there that you could mention. Neptune's going to find a job. He might even find a job in the Northeast there a little bit. Could he end up? I don't know if I've got nasty. Could he end up at somewhere like Rhode Island? I don't know. But nonetheless, there are now, interestingly enough, if Mikey's, there's 3 openings now, in the Big Five, if you think about it. So breaking news just moments ago, Kyle Neptune's fired here as head coach. I think I actually missed it by a few minutes, but wanted to break that news here right now. Did get a statement I saw from, I'm looking at it here on the television, from the AD that work ethic, dedication of the student athletes. We're grateful for his service and mentorship, but that's it for Kyle Neptune. He didn't say the end there, but fascinating job opening for sure at Villanova right now. Okay, let's see what else we've got there. So Thomas gave us that Grizzlies there. Robert's on the over. And Thomas says we need a new coach there. All right. Thanks a lot there. Let's keep it moving here right now in the NBA. We're almost done with our card here. We're going to skip the Pelicans and the Spurs tonight, but we got the Knicks and the Warriors. We can't skip this one with the Knicks on the road, an underdog here to the Warriors by 7. The total 228.5. And it's been a great story, I think, with the Warriors and their strong play since the personnel changes a little bit. They continue to be on a roll here right now, winning and sometimes covering. They got the money last time against Sacramento. The Knicks have won 2 straight, but we know they were kind of in a funk before that. They covered at Sacramento. They didn't cover in the game against Portland. This is a 5th game of the road trip right now for the Knickerbockers coming in here. Feels like it could be a tough game and a tough matchup against the Warriors tonight. Let's see if you got this one on lockdown here with the Knicks and the Warriors here tonight. See what you guys might have in this one. And go to the chat here. I know that the Sharps are probably going to favor the Knicks here, maybe by about a 2-to-1 ratio or so. Oh, man, let's see what you got. The widely reported steam came on the under. I'm not sure I'm with that. Going to the chat here. We're going kind of quickly. Thomas on the Warriors money line, but not much from you guys here. We got 111 of you, but no one willing to make a pick with me. Am I going too fast? Knicks and Warriors here. All right, I guess I got to make my call.
Final.
I'm going to take the Warriors in a blowout here of the Knicks tonight. NYC Bar likes the Knicks. Thank you, NYC Bar.
Critical notice.
All right, next up, we skipped one game, and we got one game left, and that means the Wizards and the Nuggets. Hey, how about the Lakers last night in the game against the Nuggets without Luka Doncic and without LeBron James? Now, granted, Denver did get the win. I'm just talking the Lakers covered 15 points, and the Nuggets eventually won 131-126. Did anyone see LeBron James last night at the high school basketball championships, rooting on Sierra Canyon to their championship in the division, in the open division in California? He was up in Sacramento last night watching his son, Bryce James, compete for the title with Sierra Canyon as they got the win over Lincoln last night in that game. So, LeBron, he was injured. It's not like he said, hey, I'm going to take this game off. He had the right to go there. He was kind of limping a little bit. You could see him gingerly walking into the gym last night. Anyways, this is about the Wizards and the Nuggets here in this one, with the Nuggets a big favorite in this one. And after all that effort last night against the Lakers, I got to think maybe this is a spot for the Wizards here. I kind of want to take them. The widely reported steam did come in on the Wizards here in this one, so I kind of want to do it. See if you guys want to make a play here in this one tonight. I know I've got a premium on the total, but give me the Wizards here plus the points against the Nuggets. This feels like the spot you want the Wizards in. Wizards are still just 28-35 against the spread as an underdog, but they did get that win over Detroit. I know this looks daunting on the surface, but Washington beat Denver 122-113 at home back in December, and the Nuggets aren't covering anything again right now. They're in that situation where they're just laying too many points and they're getting a little bit complacent again. We know Washington is pretty terrible here, but I'm going to take them nonetheless tonight against the Nuggets. But I've got a premium, I'm pretty sure, on the total. Cash Kane will lay it with the Warriors. Bar is on under here. And Robert going to take the Wizards. Yeah, I'm not going to go big on it here. It's a free play on the show, but just feels like this is what the Nuggets do. They got into a little bit of a groove covering maybe some big spreads, but those were against some decent teams too, I thought. And so what it came down to was they were covering inflated spreads against decent teams, and it feels like they kind of walk through these other ones, right? All right, that should do it for the NBA. Thomas is on the Nuggets money line, and Redbeard likes the Wizards. So maybe let's go to hockey tonight and get this show going and get off the air here. Thank you, everybody. Incredible to have 110 with you. I almost don't want to leave right now. Golden Knights on the road against Buffalo. Here in this one, I'll at least try to fire up the goalie computer, see who's in, see who's out with our goalies here today on Saturday. And in this one, nothing confirmed yet with Hill and Luukkonen. Here in this one, the Knights are going to be a big favorite, of course. I'll get a few trends out of the way here, maybe on the hockey tonight, but we got to go, man. Okay, here we go. For Vegas here, man, this spread's kind of taken off. We're already a pretty big favorite coming into this one. We're at halftime of those games. Yale 31-25 over Princeton. Second half total here, 2-76. Meanwhile, Bryant leads Maine 38-27. All right, so this one, maybe it started off as low as $1.60 or so at some of the books, but man, this thing's gone through the roof. Makes it kind of uncomfortable here. I wanted to play Vegas at the cheaper price, but it's kind of gone the other way here right now. The Sabres almost look like value here in this one, but I'm just going to grab the under as my play. I kind of want to take Vegas here, but man, this price has gone up pretty high, but give me the under here for Vegas. They are 13-16 to the under on the road. Buffalo is definitely an over team. We know that. 21-9 to the over at home, 22-14 to the over as an underdog, but I'm taking the under here with Vegas and Buffalo. Buffalo has actually won 4 out of the last 5 meetings between these two teams in Buffalo right now. But Vegas has won 8 of their last 11 despite dropping 2 of their last 3. They did shut out Columbus last time out. But Buffalo, we know how bad they've been. They lost to Detroit last time 7-3 after that upset of Edmonton. I've got the under here at 6.5. Juice to the under here. Okay. Brian's got Thomas has the scores there. We're rolling in hockey here right now. Nothing from you guys there. So New Jersey and Pittsburgh here tonight in this one. I've got Markstrom and Tristan Yari in this one. This is the ABC game at 3 Eastern and noon Pacific time here with the Devils on the road at the Pens. We know the Pens here under 500 right now at this point. And I think I know what I'm doing here, and I'll probably just do it. But let's see if you guys want to chime in a little bit. These two teams met back on February 4th. It was 3-2 Devils. Back in December, it was 3-0 Devils. Here, Devils are 19-14 straight up on the road. Pittsburgh 16-13 at home, but 19-33 as an underdog this season. So, let's see what you guys have tonight, if anything here. I think I like the totals of premium, so give me the Devils here in this one. I'm going to take it and lay it on the road with New Jersey. They've kind of dominated the Penguins here. Of late, they've won 9 of the last 10 meetings between the two teams, including 5 straight games here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's gone over in 5 of their last 7 at home, although they've also gone under in 4 of their last 5 overall coming in. Pittsburgh 20-13 to the over at home, but New Jersey 12-21 to the under on the road, and 19-33 to the under as a favorite. I've got the Devils here in this one. All right, NYC Bar went with the Knights. Robert went under in the Knights game, I think. Here's Penguins for NYC Bar. And no goal in the first 10 here for Robert, I think, in the Penguins game. Thomas says hits that like button. We're going quickly here. Capitals and the Sharks. I'm already on the Sharks, right? I already said I'm on the Sharks. In this one, I'm going to be a little bit contrarian here, or at least going against Washington for at least one day here. Look, the Sharks have covered the puck line in 5 of their last 7 games at home. We know they're an underdog every time. 39-27 as a puck line dog. Washington 18-18 as a puck line favorite. San Jose tonight. You look at this line on the puck line, getting a goal and a half. I say tonight. It's a day game in the West Coast, 5 Eastern and noon Pacific time here in this one. So you've got the Sharks are minus $1.25 on that puck line. I'm actually taking them here. Washington has won 5 of their last 6 games coming in. The Sharks, we know they're one of the worst teams in the league. 6 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone under in this one. So give me the Sharks today. I'm taking a little bit of a risk here with those Sharks. I guess our favorite there a little bit. NYC Bar going right against me, though. Here he's got the Capitals on the puck line. Panthers going to take on the Canadians tonight. We're under hockey night, 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific in this one with let's see here. Okay, there we go. With Bobrovsky and Montembeault here in this one.
Final.
Checking the goalies here. Sam is confirmed in goal tonight. Montreal has been hot again all of a sudden and looking good here. Looks like they can reach the playoffs for sure. They've gone 6-1-2 in their last 8 games here right now. Montembeault, 29 saves and a 4-2 win over Vancouver in his last start, although they lost Seattle the next night out, actually, in a 5-4 loss. For Florida here, they're on a little bit of a good run, but they beat Toronto last time out 3-2. Also lost to Boston before that. That stopped a little bit of a winning streak. So Florida here, big favorite on the road, $2. Here in this one, and the total 5.5 at minus 115, 120 or so to the over here in this one. So see what you might have tonight between these two. I've got to take Florida in this one. I'm going to take Florida on the puck line tonight to get it against Montreal. I think for me, look, I'm Montreal usually, right? I mean, I've been riding this a little bit, but Florida's just as hot. They've won 7 of their last 8. Florida's gone under in 5 straight games.
Final.
Also, the total's gone over in 9 of the last 13 meetings between these two teams overall coming into this one. So I'm going to end up here on Florida. They've won 9 of their last 11. Montreal's lost 11 of the last 14 meetings against Florida and 7 of the last 9 against Florida. So I'm going to take Florida here in this one. All right. Panthers for NYC Bar. Robert's on Montreal, and Robert says, yeah, maybe if you're on Florida there. I think for me in that one, Robert, I just think, look, I like Florida. I think the price is too high. I thought it might come a little bit lower because Montreal's back to playing good again, but they can't get any public attention. And I think Florida I think they have a better, we know they're better than Montreal, but I think the matchup for Florida looks better for me. I just am disappointed by the price is what it comes down to, and otherwise, it might have even been a premium. But just to note, Montreal has won the last 2 meetings, including back on December 28th. 4-0, they won at Florida. And they also, that was the only meeting of this season. The only meeting this season. Okay, here we go. I'm going quick, you guys. We got to go. Senators and Maple Leafs here. We're only halfway through these games, but hey, I'm already on the Senators, so let's just move on. I said I'm on the Senators. The steam came on the Senators. I'm on some dogs today here on Hockey Night for sure. Ottawa's won 5 in a row coming into this game. It's Ottawa 10 games over 500. Sneaky Ottawa here. Toronto's all of a sudden in a funk, and they got Stolarz possibly in goal here today. So I want to take the Senators in this one as an underdog here at plus $1.15 or so, or whatever it is right now. Look, Stolarz has been fine, but Ullmark is good too. 17-11 is Ullmark, and last meeting was Ottawa. They own this series, but Ottawa won both meetings so far this season. 3-0 at Toronto back in November, 2-1 at home. Ottawa's won several games in a row against Toronto right now. 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Toronto's gone under in 4 of their last 5 at home, but Ottawa has been going over of late for sure, especially on the road right now. Give me Ottawa tonight. All right, Reddy Samedi's here. Nice to have Reddy Samedi. NYC Bar likes the Leafs and the under. Robert's with me on Ottawa. We're moving along quickly here with the Hurricanes and the Flyers tonight in this one. The Hurricanes, a big road favorite. We know right now the Hurricanes on a roll here. The Islanders are struggling. The Flyers are struggling again. They did win, though, against Tampa Bay last time out to snap that losing streak, but Carolina's crushing over Detroit, over Tampa Bay, over Winnipeg. They won them all. And Carolina's won 5 straight trips in here to Philadelphia. They've won all those games in a row. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Coming into this one, Carolina won back in November 4-1 on the road, and they also won a couple weeks earlier 6-4 at home in that one against Philly. So with Kashetkov and Urson in here tonight, let's see what you guys might have in this one. I know what I'm doing here with a premium for sure, but kind of want to give Philly a chance here to hang in tonight. Let's see what you got. Could I take Philly here, as bad as they've been against these red-hot Hurricanes right now? Here's NYC Var, likes the Hurricanes on the puck line. Robert likes the under here. How do you not? This one seems like a dead under tonight, pretty much. Philadelphia here right now. You look at some of the numbers, it feels like, with these two teams, and let's see what we got here. Carolina under in 5 of their last 7. 5 of the last 6 meetings between the two teams have gone under, as I said. Gosh, I want to go against this Carolina team here a little bit in this one, man. Okay, give me the puck line on the Philadelphia Flyers tonight. I'm going to try to stay in there with Philadelphia here. I like this total to be low. All right, keep it going here. Lightning and Bruins here tonight. Lightning on the road. Going to be a favorite, $1.80 or so against these Bruins. But the Lightning have lost 3 in a row. The Bruins have won 2 of their last 3 games. Coming into this one for Boston here, they've gone 5-1 in their last 6 games against the Lightning here at home. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Boston won 4-0 at Tampa Bay just a couple of nights ago, remember, or a week ago, I guess. And Boston also won at home 6-2 earlier this month. earlier this year, back in January. So Boston, terrible as an underdog, just 12-23 straight up. But they are 19-11 at home still for all the misery. Still are pretty decent at home. They're usually often favored by too many, favored too heavily, and they actually are a bit of a losing proposition despite a 19-11 record. That's because they've been kind of well, we know they've been a big disappointment. Under 500, this Boston team. So I'm taking Tampa Bay. Look, there's some good things about Boston here, and this price is not great. I guess maybe the value might even be with Boston if you're looking at it. The line hasn't moved that much, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay here on the puck line at -1.5, plus $1.40. So give me that one, Tampa Bay puck line tonight. All right. Thomas says the show is over. I gotta go. Okay, Thomas, I'm gonna whip through these real quick. Let me get these plays out there and get our day started, you guys. Rangers, Blue Jackets here in this one. You got the Rangers $1.30 on the road against the Blue Jackets. Total 6.5 over in this one. Shesterkin and Tarasov expected in goal here for tonight's game. It can't pass on the Blue Jackets. Come on, give me the Blue Jackets every time at home right now. I know the Sharps are going to take the Rangers for the most part here today, but come on, we're going with the Blue Jackets until we die.
Final.
Blue Jackets are still winning over a half a unit per game at home this season. Give me the Blue Jackets here. We're not stopping. I know, Thomas, we're done. We're just about done here. Blues and Wild here in this one. You got the Wild, slight favorite here at home right now, $1.20. In fact, maybe it's moved to a pick'em at a lot of spots. Yeah, pick'em. In fact, the Blues are a favorite here at a couple spots right now. So the Blues, we do know that it will be Gus in goal. Kaprizov is out, of course, still for Minnesota. Gus in goal. In this one, but man, I'm going to have a premium probably in this game on the side. So for me, I'm going to be on the under here in this one with Minnesota and St. Louis and Minnesota. I've got a premium on the side, I'm pretty sure, in this game, but give me the under. Come on, St. Louis 17-28 to the under. As an underdog this year, Minnesota's been an under as well, 11-19 to the under at home, 14-19 to the under. As a favorite, Minnesota's gone under in 5 of their last 6 games, including 5 straight at home. 9 of the last 12 have gone over between these two teams, and St. Louis usually does give them a little bit of a tough time and hang in there, but Minnesota has won both meetings, all 3 meetings so far this season, and covered the puck line, but I think that might come to an end tonight, but give me the under here as my pick. One more game real quick. All right. And here we go. Bar with the under is the Blues. All right, one more game. The show's over. Type something in the chat if you want to win the consensus drawing with Chicago and Vancouver tonight in this one. Vancouver's won 5 straight meetings, and Vancouver's covered the puck line in 11 of the last 12 meetings between the two teams here at home, and it's not like Chicago's been favored in any of them. Vancouver owns this series pretty much right now, covering the puck line every single time for the last couple of seasons. Here it's been dominance right now, but there's some hope for Chicago. Maybe in this one as a big puck line dog, but I don't know. Vancouver should smash these guys. Let's see if you guys have anything here in the chat. I'm going to just take Vancouver on the puck line to roll here over Chicago tonight. The show is over. I hope that's okay, you guys, that we went so fast. I'm going to have some premiums. Check me out over at Here we go. Check me out over at winnable.com. I got plays for the action coming up. I'm going to fill it all out and send it all out here in a little bit. Hopefully I gave you some great winners for today and all those games, but I'll have more sent your way when you subscribe over at winnable.com. I've got them all here on this sheet right now. I'm just going to type it in and send it out. Got my plays from my friends in the chat, and so all I got to do is get ready and send the plays out, type them in, grab my picks for $4 a day for 50 cents. Brian's going crazy right now. They're leading by 19, blowing these guys out of the water. Anyways, check it out. Check me out over there. This is how you support me here on the show. Mikey Money, he'd like to pay me, but we're on a agreement. I'm really just a contracted guy over here at the Sports Money Network. I love it at the Sports Money Network. I'm all about the Sports Money Network. I've got these shirts from Mikey Money. I've got a hoodie. I'm all about the Sports Money Network. But still, to be clear, you can support me by subscribing to my picks here at Winnable. And I really do appreciate all of you. We've got more than 36 of you signed up for the paid packages. That sounds pretty good. It keeps me eating pizza every night. And we've got over I think it's, it might be 100. Let me look at it here. We got a lot of free subscribers, so make sure you're one of them. Let's go to the drawing here right now. Thomas has typed them in here with all of our picks. Thank you, everybody. Let's do the drawing and get out of here and see what we got. Oh, we got a lot of 34 of you commented today. Let's go to the screen and do the drawing. Thank you, everybody. Good luck. Jermaine, Action Jackson, Terrell, Wine Time, Joe T, Thomas, Robert, Trap God, Curtis, Big O, Terrell, Spoons, and Gravy Bets. No one deserves it more than Gravy Bets. Thank you, Gravy Bets. Appreciate everything that you do for us in the chat. He kind of takes off sometimes early, but if he's out there, we'll let him know. Thank you, Gravy. Really appreciate you. That's it for the morning steam. Thank you, everybody. Great job. Great show. Hopefully it wasn't too crazy and too fast at the end. I don't know what I can do. All I can do is talk about the games until I'm done talking. So appreciate it. Check me out tomorrow, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific. We'll preview those few championship games. It's Selection Sunday tomorrow, believe it or not. And we'll have NBA, NHL, and maybe we'll find something else as well. Don't forget UFC. We're just 4 hours away. Go ahead and get those previews. Read those, watch those previews today with me and BB and with the guys on First Strike. Plenty of picks for you guys in there. And don't forget go to the posts tab, and in there you will see our let me show you here real quick, get you out of here, but the members playbook. When you go to the members playbook, you're going to see the picks from all the guys. Look at this. Oops. Let me fix myself here. Well, let me just show it from here, okay? Look at this right here. You can't see me, but look at the playbook here. We get all those fights lined up with all the picks from the guys. So go check it out, the UFC Sports Money Members Playbook. Go to the Posts tab here in YouTube, and you can find this chart. And look at this, you guys. All the fights previewed from the guys with commentary from the guys and all their picks from all this week. So I think that's really special that we're doing that, and it is awesome. So thank you guys for that. And hey, they put me on a few picks for sure. Yeah, I got all my picks. They're loaded up at Winnable. Click that QR code. Oh, take a look at some of these soccer scores here. Manchester City and Brighton 2-2, Wolves 2-0, Mallorca 0-0, Lille 0-0. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you. See you tomorrow here on the Sports Money Network. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. Good night and thank you.
Cash, then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steal. Ramon Scott, sports money. Wake your ass up and let's get to